Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
We're live from Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. It is Game 10 of the Ohio Valley Conference Championships, and Little Rock trying to continue their run through the losers bracket of this tournament. Backs to the wall, elimination game here. Upcoming, it's your number 4 seed Trojans taking on the last team in, the number 8 seed Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles. Max Coltrane here with you on the call. Glad you're along. The Trojans and Screaming Eagles with plenty of familiarity with one another. Little Rock opened up their tournament on Wednesday with a 7-3 victory over Southern Indiana. Screaming Eagles able to pick up a shock result yesterday, knocking out the number 3 seed, the 39-win SEMO Redhawks, to force this rematch here on Friday afternoon. Let's get right into things here. We've got a great pitching matchup, a couple of former collegiate teammates, Brody Bunting for Little Rock, Jake Porter for Southern Indiana, began their careers at Johnson County Community College back in 2023, their freshman season. So backs to the wall for both of these teams, season on the line, each team trying to punch their ticket into tomorrow's game with the SIUE Cougars, another elimination game. But for this one, it was originally slated as a 3 o'clock start time. Yesterday, it was moved up to 1 o'clock. And then earlier today, with some rain here in Marion, Illinois, that has affected all or most all college baseball tournaments here this week and into the weekend. And this one was moved back to 6 o'clock. It's a decision that, well, it benefits the Trojans. Instead of having to play 6 games in 3 days, Little Rock only having to play this game tonight. And then if they want to continue things, they'll have to win 2 tomorrow and then potentially 1 Sunday if they can get there, with the Eastern Illinois Panthers waiting in the winner's bracket for the remaining side. 4 teams left in this tournament: Eastern Illinois, Southern Indiana, Little Rock, and SIUE. For the Trojans, they're in the first base dugout. They're the home side as the lower seed. Little Rock wearing the maroon tops, maroon caps with LR on the hat. They've got white Trojans in all caps across the chest and the white pants with the pinstripes. For Southern Indiana, they've got the red hat with the white front, Screaming Eagle logo on the top, navy bill, navy jerseys with the red and white thick piping and numbers on the front left. For the Screaming Eagles. For Little Rock, Brody Bunting, right-handed senior from Sherwood, Arkansas, North Little Rock High School grad, second-year Trojan. He was a weekend starter for a good portion of the season last year, also had some midweek outings and made some huge starts down the stretch. He was 15 games, 7 starts last year, which was the 3rd most on the team, an ERA just over 6 a season ago. He had some big outings on this mound here at Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois, and that was one of the reasons why head coach Chris Curry is going to him first after his first 3 starters have already gone. His weekend starters, Brigden Parker, Brandon Westmoreland, and Nick Bronziti, all providing really nice outings for Little Rock. The Trojans have a deep bullpen right now. They've only had to go to Tag Andrews and Gage Haley. Other than that, everybody is fresh, and even Haley can probably go here again tonight. For Little Rock starter, Brody Bunting, first start all season long. It's been a little bit of a down year for Bunting. 11 appearances, 10 innings pitched all season, 12 hits, 8 earned runs, 13 walks, and 10 strikeouts, an ERA at 7.2. The key for Bunting is going to be whether he's living in the strike zone early. He's got a fastball that he can pump up to 95, which is elite in this conference, and he's got a really nice slider as well that he can drop in there. That comes in at the mid to upper 80s. So those will be the main 2 pieces for Bunting in terms of the pitches in his arsenal. For the visiting Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles, a left-hander, senior from Winterset, Iowa, Jake Porter, getting the start. It's his first year with the Screaming Eagles, 23rd appearance, 9th start. He has been their Tuesday starter all season long. A 3-1 record, an ERA just north of 8 in 38 innings of work. 48 hits, 35 earned runs, 20 walks to 31 strikeouts. And Porter has a fastball that'll sit 85 to 87, a slider, and a changeup. These 2 teams opened up their conference tournament just 2 days ago against one another. Trojans were able to come from behind on 2 separate occasions in that contest and pick up a 7-3 victory. It was some crucial clutch hitting. It was Brandon Westmoreland who had the ball for the Trojans. He went 6 1/3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs in that start. And then it was Tag Andrews that shut the door, the redshirt freshman from Maumelle, who has just stolen all the storylines for Little Rock, rightfully so, here in Marion, Illinois. But for the Trojans, with the bats against the Screaming Eagles 2 days ago, Blake Simpson got him on the board. Nico Bombot helped out. And then it was Cooper Chaplin and Cade Smith, the Searcy native, who really put the game to bed in the latter stages. Cade Smith had the go-ahead 2 RBI single that gave Little Rock a 5-3 lead in the 8th inning of that contest. And then Cooper Chaplin with a 2 RBI triple into the right center field gap put things away at 7-3, where that game on Wednesday finished. After that, Little Rock lost a 1-run game against the top seed regular season champion SIUE Cougars, and then they were able to get back into the win column at 2-1 so far in this tournament. Both sides coming in 2-1. Elimination game here. Backs against the wall, and the Trojans have hit the field here at Mountain Dew Park. To familiarize the viewers here with the field dimensions, it is a huge park. Talking to head coach Chris Curry, he said he finds it very interesting, is the word that he used, that the Ohio Valley Conference, such an offensive league with so many top offenses, SIUE, Eastern, Little Rock, some great offenses in this league, lots of extra base pop everywhere. They come here to decide their conference tournament every season. A field that, with the wind blowing in, is playing absolutely ginormous. We've seen tons of 1-run games, low-scoring games all week long so far. 3 runs feels like 5. 5 runs feels like 8 out here. It is 320 down the line to left field, 335 down the line to right. Alleyways are 392 to left center, 375 to right center, 400 in center field. And it is the 3 square walls, no curved wall in the outfield. So the deepest point in left center is actually 412, and the deepest point in right is actually 402 when the center field wall meets the left and right field wall here in Marion, Illinois. Little Rock looking for a good outing out of Brody Bunting, his first start all season long. But again, you go back to those last year numbers. He made 15 appearances, 7 starts. He was 4-4 with a 6 ERA and 47 innings of work. And you look at his postseason outings, that's why he's on the hill here tonight. He had a 7-pitch 1-2-3 save against Eastern Illinois in the quarterfinals of this tournament here last year. And then the very next day, he started his first game in over 2 months on May the 23rd of last year. It was in the semifinal of this tournament against Lindenwood. He went 7 innings, gave up just 1 earned run, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. He threw 121 pitches in that start. That was really the premium start that he has given the Trojans in his 2 years back home in Little Rock. The North Little Rock High School graduate here on the mound taking his warm-up pitches. For the Trojans defensively, the Toronto native Blake Simpson's out in left. Searcy native Cade Smith is in center, and the 4th-year Trojan Ty Rhodes is out in right. Nolan Friend, one-time Baseball America Team of the Week selection, is at third base. Jerdy Lopez, the man from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, is at short. Cooper Chaplin, the second-year Trojan who started all 61 games last year for Little Rock, is at second base. And last year's reigning Baton Rouge Regional MVP, Angel Cano, is at first base. Trey Hill, the man from Farmington, Arkansas, in the northwest part of the state, is behind the plate for Little Rock. Just about set here, left-handed hitting left fielder Hunter Miller digging in for the Screaming Eagles. And Brody Bunting out of the stretch, fires the first pitch on the ground right side. Long run for Cooper Chaplin into the 3-4 hole. He fires to first in time. 1 pitch, 1 out for Brody Bunting. A nice start for the first start all season for Little Rock's right-hander. Quick first out here. Important to settle in. It has been raining all day here in Marion, Illinois, just about. They were able to get in a morning game, SIUE and Eastern Illinois in the upper bracket. And Eastern Illinois was able to take that contest in a close one, a 10-inning affair before this very long rain delay. And a good sign for Bunting. He is sitting 92 on that fastball. You know that he can get it up to 94, 95 when he really pumps it. But good to see him sitting 92 with the heater here to open things up in this first inning. Kai Holiday, the hitter, he takes a fastball, 93, looked pretty good. Just off the plate, though, and the count evened up. Two-hole hitter for the Screaming Eagles, right-handed Kai Holiday, the graduate student out of Tupelo, Mississippi. Second-year Screaming Eagle. 277 hitter, 6 doubles, a homer, 20 RBIs, and 3 straight fastballs from Brody Bunting. He gets ahead 1-2. Outside corner with the heater. That has been the recipe. Little Rock with a first-year pitching coach, Evan Lee, former Arkansas Razorback, calling the pitches in the dugout on the first base side for the Trojans. Slider shown off there from Bunting. That one started off inside at the body of Holiday, and it broke to the inside corner, and Holiday fouls it down the right side. He earns himself another offering here, 1-2. Holiday 4 for 10 with 3 walks in this tournament so far. Again, a 277 hitter on the year with a 419 on base percentage. More walks than strikeouts. That one back up the middle, and it gets past the diving Cooper Chaplin. Kai Holiday, man with really good speed for the Screaming Eagles, has himself a 1-out single, and Southern Indiana have their first base runner in this one. Good piece of hitting there from Holiday to, after falling behind in the count, he was able to foul off the slider, and he was right back on time with that 1-2 fastball. So 1 on and 1 out. You got the leading base stealer for the Screaming Eagles this season with 18 stolen bases. Kai Holiday standing on first base, and 1 out in this frame. Top of the first here, no score. Runner on the move, first pitch. Trey Hill with the throw down. It gets past Cooper Chaplin, and it gets into center field. Holiday going to move all the way up to third base. The pitch was a swinging strike on a slider outside of the zone. And just like that, and here in a hurry here, head coach Chris Curry is out of the Trojans dugout on the first base side. He has a problem. I think he's trying to claim that the hitter here, Patrick McClellan, in his backswing, stepped his back foot outside of the batter's box, and he is really heated here in a conversation with home plate umpire Ben Levin. He needs to be careful in an elimination game. And associate head coach Matt Parker is coming out to get the skipper. Boy, you do not see Coach Curry getting fired up like that in situations like this. And I think he's got a point as well. You know, Patrick McClellan, he was trying to swing on the front half of that, and he chased the slider. But then in the back half of that play, his body started to come towards the middle in the way of Trey Hill. But either way, runner on third, 1 out, and another chase there with a slider. Brody Bunting, back-to-back sliders. That one coming in at 85, and he gets ahead of Patrick McClellan. 0-2 here. Go-ahead run is 90 feet away with 1 out, infield in for the Trojans. 0-2 from Bunting, back to the slider. That one down the right field line, and it's going to get foul and out of play. Ty Rhodes, Little Rock's right fielder, was shaded towards right center. So if that one managed to stay fair, he had a long way to go to get there. But it gets out of play, and we're going to do it again, 0-2. 3 straight sliders for Brody Bunting. See if he sticks with that. What pitching coach Evan Lee likes here. Infield staying in here. Runner on third, 1 out in the top of the first for the Screaming Eagles. A foul ball, fastball 92 from Little Rock's right-hander. You'll love to see him in the strike zone, though, for Little Rock. It has never been a question of stuff for Brody Bunting this season. The only reason that he has pitched only 10 innings this year and has kind of fallen out of favor in this pitching staff is because of his, at times, inability to command the zone. Swing and a miss on a 0-2 slider. He goes back to the breaking ball, and heavy dosage of the slide piece. He gets a massive K here for the second out in the top of the first. And that's going to bring up the cleanup man, Mikajo Wall, here for the Screaming Eagles. RBI spot here for Wall, the senior out of Marion, North Carolina. Right-handed catcher takes a strike there. Another slide piece from Bunting. 85 outside corner in this right-on-right matchup. Wall, the 6'6 catcher, although, he is catching tonight. He was the DH against the Trojans last time. They had Drew Signs behind the plate, but looks like Wall getting the start here behind the plate. 0-1 fastball upstairs. He gets the chase. And just like that, Brody Bunting trying to keep Kai Holiday stranded over there at third base. USI, they had him on 90 feet away with just one out in this inning. Now Bunting one pitch away from getting out of it unscathed. Time here, you got Gage Haley running back into the bullpen in the right field corner. No score here in the top of the first. Screaming Eagles with a runner on third. 2 outs in this inning. Bunting ahead 0-2. Slider just off the plate. A good take by Makaja Wall, the first team All-OVC catcher for the Screaming Eagles, a .299 hitter, 53 hits, 5 doubles, 5 homers, and 46 RBIs. 24 walks to 29 strikeouts on the year. A very good on base at .391, and he waves and misses at a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Brody Bunting strands the go-ahead run there on third base. A couple back-to-back Ks for the North Little Rock High School graduate, and we head to the home half of the first. No score here in Marion, Illinois. You're listening to Little Rock Trojans baseball on the Trojans and Buzz Networks. Back here inside Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. He's getting set for the home half of the first. No score between the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles and your Little Rock Trojans. North Little Rock High School grad Brody Bunting able to pick up back-to-back strikeouts in a runner on third and 1 out situation as the Screaming Eagles strand a runner here. And now the left-hander starter working here on his warm-up pitches, Jake Porter, senior out of Winterset, Iowa. Teammates with Brody Bunting, their first year of collegiate baseball back in 2023 with the Johnson County College squad up in Kansas. And interestingly enough, Southern Indiana, this might be an opener situation. They've already got somebody loosening up in their bullpen and tossing out there. Jacob Barrett, a right-hander. So we'll see how long the leash is here for their left-handed starter. Jordy Lopez digging in for Little Rock, right-handed hitting shortstop, who has started all games for Little Rock this season but one. The 5'8 shortstop junior out of Santo Domingo and the Dominican Republic. Man who has been really decisive with his glove all season long, leading stolen base man, leading run scorer for the Trojans this season. First pitch from Jake Porter, a fastball, 87, outer corner there for strike one. Lopez 3 for 12 with an RBI so far in this tournament. And he's going to take a slider there. That one breaks to the inside corner. Lopez quickly behind here, 0-2. 87 on the first pitch fastball from Jake Porter and 74 on that slider. It's 0-2 here. That one on the ground, high hop, one hop to third base. Parker Martin charging, and he fires to first in time to get Lopez. And there's one down here in the home half of the first. Porter's start gets underway in a nice fashion. And now Cade Smith digging in for the Trojans. Redshirt sophomore from Searcy. He was a Harding Academy standout two-sport star. He was the quarterback. A lot of people, a lot of high school football fans in Central Arkansas thought that Cade Smith was destined to be a Razorbacks quarterback. He was on magazine covers, all of the sorts, but after tearing his PCL in high school, in football. He said, I'm going to go the baseball route, and that was a good decision. He's been Little Rock's leading hitter all season long. 330 average, 72 hits, 14 doubles. And he swings at that 1-0 offering, and fouls it down the right side out of play. The count evened up. Smith leads Little Rock 26 multi-hit games this season in his 56 starts. He's the only Trojan to appear in all 58 games for head coach Chris Curry. Big gap up the middle, I should say, on the infield. 1-1 from the left-hander, and Cade Smith's going to find that gap over the head of the second baseman, Zion Stevens, out into center field. Holiday throws it back in. It's a one-out single for Cade Smith. And Little Rock center fielder gets himself aboard, the spark plug that they needed here in the home half of the first inning. 1 on and 1 out now for Nolan Friend, right-handed hitting third baseman for the Trojans, the junior out of small town of Kingman, Kansas, 2A Kingman High School, 3-sport star. He is started out his tournament 4 for 8 in his opening 8 plate appearances. Also has made a really nice double play at third. That one on the ground to second. It gets by Zion Stevens, the second baseman, booted it. It gets all the way into center field. Cade Smith going to go first to third. Throw comes into second. Stevens can't believe it. Boy, the body language. He's got the glove off. Oh, he's still frustrated. Stevens can't believe it. And boy, I can't either. That was a tailor-made 4-6-3 double play that would have ended the inning. Instead, it's an E4. And Smith able to advance over to third base. Little Rock all of a sudden have something brewing here in this first inning. Runners at the corners, 1 out in the first, and Blake Simpson digging in. Redshirt junior out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. 6'2", left-handed bat in his first year with the Trojans, getting his 27th start for head coach Chris Curry here in this one. That one gets away from McKay Wall behind the plate, and the first run of the game is going to be Little Rock's. Cade Smith comes around to score. Nolan Friend moves up to second, and the Trojans have a 1-0 lead and a run of support for Brody Bunting. Would be surprised if that was a pass ball. I'd say wild pitch on that one. It was bouncing there well in front of the plate. And now a meeting on the mound as the backstop here. The first team all OVC backstop, I might add, McKay Wall out there to meet with his infield. This is like a player-led meeting here after the E4 on the infield on a double play ball that could have ended the frame for the Screaming Eagles, and then a wild pitch the very next offering. Southern Indiana going to try and settle things down in the first inning. Nolan Friend leads off a second, and Blake Simpson digs in here for the remainder of his plate appearance. Simpson, a .313 hitter this year, 7 doubles, 2 homers, 17 RBIs in this left-on-left matchup here against Jake Porter. Slight shift on the infield towards the right side. The 1-0, that one gets away from McKay Wall again. Nolan Friend going to move up to third base with 1 out in the inning. Second straight wild pitch from the left-hander Jake Porter, and now a prime RBI opportunity for Blake Simpson. Simpson is an absolute trooper. He began his collegiate career at Connors State College, playing for the legendary head coach Perry Keith, the winningest active coach in all levels of college baseball. He was supposed to be a starting middle infielder for the Missouri Tigers last year, Blake Simpson, but injury caught up to him there, and he ended up in Little Rock here this season. 2-0 down the left side, and that misses. I tell you, injury, it almost got Blake Simpson this season as well. He suffered an ankle injury just before the year, had to go through a minor surgery, was able to work his way back. He's still playing through pain, but he has proved impactful despite all of that. On the ground, left side, it goes to the shortstop, Clayton Slack. This is going to bring a run home, and Simpson out at first base, but a quality at bat for Blake Simpson and an RBI, and Little Rock have a 2-0 lead here in the home half of the first. That is huge in these elimination games to try and alleviate a little bit of this pressure, and just as well to support your starting pitcher here, Brody Bunting, who will try his best to go deep into this outing. Friend coming around to score on the play. RBI for Blake Simpson. He's up to 18 on the year, and now An always frightening right-handed bat. Angel Cano digging in. That one 2 hops to short. Clayton Slack stays down on it. His throw to first base in time. But so Southern Indiana able to get out of things, but the Trojans able to pick up 2 runs on 1 hit. They leave nobody on base, and we head to the second inning. Your Little Rock Trojans on top, 2-0. Back here from Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois, the home of the Thrillville Thrillbillies, the Collegiate Woodbat Summer League team, and it's Day 4, Game 10 of the Ohio Valley Conference Tournament here from the losers bracket side, an elimination game between your Trojans and the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles. Little Rock jumping on the board with 2 runs in the home half of the first. And the first one came across on a wild pitch. It was a error-filled inning for the Screaming Eagles. And then Blake Simpson able to drive in the second run on a ground out to the shortstop. First pitch for Brody Bunting in the second inning, and it results in a foul ball down the right side. Bunting sitting 92-93 on his fastball. The North Little Rock High School graduate, the Sherwood native, has started off strong here in this one. He's got 5, 6, and 7 here. Clayton Slack, a right-handed bat, takes a slider off the plate, and the count evened up 1-1. Slack, a senior from Viroqua, Wisconsin. Third school for him, the shortstop. Started out at Marshalltown Community College, went to Madison College, and now it's his second year with the Screaming Eagles. Last year, he was a second-team all-conference selection, and the 1-1 fouled out of play, 92 on the heater. This is something that we've seen more and more of from the Trojans pitching coach, former Washington National, former big leaguer Evan Lee, a Bryant High School standout two-way star. He has been much more aggressive in his pitch calling. He will stick the fastball over and over and over again until another team proves that they can hit it. It has been satisfying to see all year long. It's resulted in Little Rock with the lowest walk rate in the OVC, also the second lowest team ERA in the conference. It has been a great first season for Evan Lee on top of the pitching staff. This one fouled, popped up right side. Angel Cano, Little Rock's first baseman, gallops over and makes the play. There's 1 out in the top of the second. That's going to bring up a hitter that Little Rock need to be careful with. Parker Martin, the left-handed junior from Missouri City, Texas, is a .272 bat this season. 13 doubles, 3 homers, 38 RBIs, but he opened the scoring against the Trojans on Wednesday with a home run off of Little Rock's ace, Brandon Westmoreland. It was just the 3rd home run all season long that Westmoreland had conceded in over 75 innings of work for Little Rock. So Martin really seeing the ball well in this tournament. He is 6 for 13, 2 doubles and a home run. And Brody Bunting fires an 0-1 fastball there off the plate. The count evened up. 1-1 here to Parker Martin. Top of the second. Trojans up 2. Nobody on base and no shift defensively for Little Rock. Slider there on 1-1, and it breaks inside and low. Back foot slider and a good take by the left-handed hitting Parker Martin. Mentioned second team All-OVC last year. He was a .341 hitter a season ago. He's dropped that down a little bit, but he has proved impactful in this tournament. He gets a 2-1 fastball outer half, and he fouls 91 down the left side and out of play. Brody Bunting living in the strike zone early on in this outing. He's retired 4 of the first 5 hitters he's faced. 2-2, sky high out to left center. Hardly has to move as it drifts towards left. Blake Simpson didn't have to go far. Left fielder brings it in, and there's 2 outs for Brody Bunting and the Trojans. Great start for Bunting. He's been able to show great command of both his fastball and his slider early on in this one. And now you've got another pretty hot hitter in this tournament, Noah Foster, the right-handed right fielder, grad student out of Tupelo, Mississippi, hitting .341 on the year, 10 doubles, 4 triples, 3 homers, 32 driven in for Foster, who takes the slider low and off the plate. And Foster's seeing the ball well in these championships. He's 5 for 9 with a double and a home run and a couple of RBIs for these Screaming Eagles. Bunting, that one turned around out to left center. Long run for Cade Smith, and it's going to go off of his glove as he slides, and it gets down. Extra bases for Noah Foster. He has his 3rd double of this tournament, and the Screaming Eagles, for the 2nd straight frame, have a runner in scoring position on Brody Bunting. Runner on second base now. Foster, 2 outs in this inning. And a chance for an RBI now for the Screaming Eagles designated hitter, Drew Sines. Sines was the catcher on Wednesday's game against Little Rock, and Mikaja Wall was their DH. Those two have flipped positions here in this Friday night clash. Sines, a junior right-handed hitting catcher from Burleson, Texas. And he takes a 91-mile-an-hour fastball off the plate. 1-0 count here, 2 outs in the inning. Brody Bunting trying to get through 2 scoreless frames to open things up. Of course, it's an elimination game. Coach Curry, he said he'd ride with Brody Bunting as long as the game situation presented itself applicable. But, of course, an elimination game, it's all hands on deck. And Little Rock with a very fresh bullpen as well. Only Tag Andrews and Gage Haley have gone so far. So far, Bunting, early on in this outing, has outpitched his former junior college teammate Jake Porter for Southern Indiana. The 2-0. Good spot there. Really the first time all evening that Bunting has fallen behind in the count, but he gets right back in there with a 92-mile-an-hour heater at the knees. It's 2-1. Bunting looking for another storybook outing on this mound. He had a couple huge outings last year in this tournament. 2-1, he gets a chase on the slider. 77 from Bunting. Actually, the curveball there from Bunting. He shows off the secondary, if you will. He's gone to that slider in high dosage. He hasn't gone to that curveball as much, but he's able to get a chase there from Sines. And it's 2-2. 1 pitch away from getting out of it for Bunting. 2-2 pitch, well off the plate, and a good dig back there by Trey Hill, Little Rock's 4th-year catcher. This is the first year, though, that he's been able to keep himself healthy all season long and put himself in a position to play these crucial games behind the plate for the Trojans. Big pitch here, 3-2. Fouled into the back netting. 90 on the fastball from Bunting, and we're going to do it again. A lengthy plate appearance here for Drew Sines. Bunting up here north of 30 pitches now in the opening 2 frames. Trojans leading 2-0. Another 3-2 coming. Noah Foster leading off of second base. Slight shift on the infield towards the left side, and then the center fielder, Cade Smith, is predicting Drew Sines to hit it the other way. He shifted a few steps towards right. 3-2, in on the hands, and it's fouled down the right side. 92 miles an hour with the fastball. Bunting, heavy dosage of that heater right now. Aggressive pitch calling from Little Rock's pitching coach, Evan Lee. Bunting gets the call from the PitchCom device from his pitching coach. He's ready out of the stretch here. Comes set for a 3-2. Slider off the plate and a good take there by Science. It's the first free pass issued by Brody Bunting. And Southern Indiana has something brewing here in the top of the second. They've got first and second on and 2 outs in this frame. And an RBI opportunity for their 9-hole hitter, their second baseman, right-handed hitting Zion Stevens. Junior out of Missouri City, Texas, former Abilene Christian player. Of course, ACU, they're going to be in the UAC, Little Rock's conference, starting in just over a month or so when Little Rock will leave the OVC and join the United Athletic Conference. Bunting, first pitch slider, 81, outside corner, strike 1. Stevens for the Screaming Eagles picking up his 35th start. He's a .225 hitter, 20 hits, 4 doubles, 15 RBIs, and just 5 walks to 27 strikeouts on the season for the 9-hole bat. Stevens fouls that one off. And I'm sure that this is a hitter who has a fire lit underneath him right now. The man who made that error in the bottom half of the first on a ball that was grounded to him at second base, what could have and probably should have been a inning-ending double play, instead set the table for Little Rock to plate the game's first 2 runs. Bunting ahead now, 0-2. Slider foul down the right side, out of the park, and we're going to do it again. Lots at stake for both of these teams. Obviously, an elimination game. You go home and your season ends if you lose, but lots at stake for a win for Southern Indiana. If they win it, it'll be their first 30-win season as a Division I outfit. If Little Rock win, they tie their all-time single-season program record, 33. Pop to the right side. It was a fastball, and Zion Stevens seeing a lot of pitches from Brody Bunting. Another foul ball, and it'll stay 0-2. Little Rock set that program best mark of 33 wins twice, once in 1990, once in 2000. Little Rock, 32 wins on the season now. It's their third 30-win year, and the last 4 seasons under their hometown skipper, head coach Chris Curry. Stevens ready, the 0-2. Runners break. Throw goes to third, and it's in plenty of time. Nolan Friend applies the tag. Screaming Eagles getting aggressive with 2 on and 2 out, an 0-2 count. They sent both runners, and Trey Hill made them pay. Trojans get out of the jam. Southern Indiana strands 2 after 1 hit in the inning, and we'll head to the home half of the second. Trojans 2, Screaming Eagles nothing. Back here from Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois, the host site of the Ohio Valley Conference Championships through 2029. Your Little Rock Trojans on top of the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles, 2-0, headed to the home half of the second. Trojans going to bring 6, 7, and 8 to the plate. Nico Bamba, Ty Rhodes, and Trey Hill due up for Little Rock. backs against the wall in an elimination game here in the OVC championships. First pitch to Nico Bamba. That's in there for a strike. A really confuzzled look there on the face of Bamba. Kind of a half look back to the home plate umpire on a changeup there that looked like it might have been upstairs, but he takes it around the letters for strike one. Second offering to Bamba. Breaking pitch. Slider low. 1-1, pardon, to Little Rock's designated hitter. 307 average for Bamba, 11 doubles, 3 homers, 21 RBIs for the grad student from Euless, Texas. And he takes that 1-1 downstairs. 2-1 count to a dangerous bat. Nico Bamba with 25 Little Rock home runs in his career, tied for the third most in program history. Left-hander Jake Porter, the starter, still working. Out of the windup, his 2-1. Bamba fouls it into the front foot there. He usually wears a guard. He doesn't have it on his shin, and now he's going to take his time here walking around, making sure he can put some weight on that left foot. He looks to be all right and ready for a 2-2. Third-year Trojan Nico Bamba, a 2-time All-OVC first-team selection. That was back in 2023 and 2024. He's 1 year removed from his Little Rock, or from the rest of his Little Rock career. 2-2, backdoor slider. Looked pretty good, but Bamba able to take it for a ball. Screaming Eagles, I think they thought they had Bamba rung up there to begin the home half of this second inning. But he gets a second life here at 3-2. Porter out of the windup. Fastball on the ground left side, backhanded sliding play from Clayton Slack. His throw to first, picked out there by Patrick McClellan. Really nice play on both sides of the infield for Southern Indiana as they're able to rob Bamba of a leadoff single. And he is sat down to begin this home half of the second inning. Nice defensive play there from the Screaming Eagles, who opened this game in the first inning looking a little bit weary defensively. A few wild pitches on Mikaja Wall and then Zion Stevens' error at second base. But a nice play there by the shortstop Clayton Slack. And now one out for Ty Rhodes. Left-handed bat has himself a single out into right center. And big gaps here. Rhodes might try and stretch it. Big turn, but he heads back to first. Settles for the one-out base knock. The man with the third most hits in Little Rock program history, the fourth-year Trojan out of Jonesboro, Ty Rhodes, has his 224th career base knock in his Little Rock campaign, and now he's on first base with one out for Trey Hill, another fourth-year Trojan. Hill, a senior out of Farmington, Arkansas, just outside of Fayetteville, getting his 24th start for head coach Chris Curry here this year. First pitch to Hill, that misses low and off the plate. Hill is 1 for 9 in this tournament with a hit by pitch and a couple runs scored. He had a huge play to get Little Rock out of a jam. He gunned that runner down at third base in the top half of this inning to alleviate some pressure and get Little Rock back in their dugout. Really surprising decision, honestly, by the Screaming Eagles to steal. They had 2 on and 2 out. And their 9-hole hitter, Zion Stevens, to the plate. And it is in the scouting report that the Screaming Eagles like to steal. They have 100 team stolen bases coming into this tournament. That was one of the top numbers in the Ohio Valley Conference. I believe it was first in the OVC. So they do like to try and make things happen on the base paths. As the 1-1 Hill swings and misses at an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, he's behind 1-2. But still, no matter how much of a running team you are, normally in a situation like that, I mean, the golden rule per se, you never get that final out at third base, but that's what the Screaming Eagles did in the top of the second. 1-2, that misses downstairs. Ty Rhodes going to try and get up to second base, and he slides in safely. Great dirt ball read from Ty Rhodes. And he gets himself into scoring position here with just one out. Trey Hill at the plate, right-handed bat here facing the left-handed starter, Jake Porter. Hill, one of the toughest guys on this team, has been through a lot in terms of the injuries in his career, and he's able to foul off a 76-mile-an-hour slider there. Hill's been tough all his life. He grew up on the family farm out there in Farmington, waking up at the crack of dawn, herding cattle from a young age. He's got an opportunity to extend this Little Rock lead in the bottom of the second. He hits one out to center as it drifts towards right center. Kai Holiday gets over there, and the center fielder makes the play for the second out of the inning. Nice lengthy plate appearance for Trey Hill, able to work some pitches, but he is retired, and now Ty Rhodes remains at second with 2 outs in the home half of the 8th. And in steps the man who started every game last year for Little Rock, the left-handed hitting second baseman out of Jackson, Mississippi, the senior Cooper Chaplin, getting his first trip to the plate in this one. Chaplin, 235 this year. He's got 6 doubles, 6 homers, 13 RBIs, 29 RBIs, pardon. And he takes the first one, a fastball off the plate. Head coach Chris Curry, and talking about the matchups, he said there was a little bit of a thought to take some of the lefties out of the lineup against this left-handed pitcher, Jake Porter, but he said he trusts his lefties in these matchups, and the splits with Porter benefit the lefties as well. Chaplin, boy, he had to duck out of the way of that one. He looks disappointed in himself that he didn't wear one up in the upper torso or the helmet, but I think he's alone in that regard. Chaplin in this tournament, 4 for 9, a triple and a couple RBIs. That was all on one swing. That was against these Screaming Eagles as well, and he fouls off a 2-0 heater back to the backstop. That was the swing in the home half of the 8th on Wednesday in this matchup that made it a 7-3 ball game. It really put it to bed. It let Tag Andrews go out for that 9th inning with no pressure on him, and the Trojans got to the finish line for a 7-3 victory. 2-1, that one runs in. Oh, boy, that hit Chaplin up high, and he is going to jog himself over to first base. It was a fastball with a little bit of arm side run in the left-on-left matchup, and Chaplin didn't have the best read on that pitch out of his hand. And kind of a scary situation as a hitter. If you can't read it out of the hand and it's coming at you, then you start to expose yourself some areas you don't want to get hit. And it looked like that almost could have had a chance to kind of run in and get him in the neck or head area, but he looks to be waving around that front arm. That right shoulder looks to be where that one got him. And he gets himself aboard here. Little Rock 2 on and 2 out now, and the order flipping back to the top. Another chance for Jordy Lopez, who grounded out to third his first time up. Mentioned the big dimensions of this park, the huge gaps out here at Mountain Dew Park. Also worth noting, it is a fully turf surface, and it plays extremely fast. We've seen more than a couple Baltimore chop base hits that hit the ground right in front of home plate and then end up bouncing over the head of a third baseman or a first baseman. Trojans benefited from one of those against the SIUE Cougars. So, left-handed pitcher ready, and the right-handed hitting Jordy Lopez digging in here. 2 on, Ty Rhodes on second, Cooper Chaplin on first. Trojans leading 2-0 in the home half of the second, and an RBI spot for Jordy Lopez. And he takes a backdoor slider, and that one just misses, maybe below the plate. No complaints, though, from the third base dugout on that opening pitch to Lopez. 1-0 to Jordy. He grounds it to short, going the short way over to second. Boy, Cooper Chaplin made that a close force out over there. But it is the third out of the inning. Trojans get 1 hit. They strand 2. They don't plate anyone. And we head to the third. Little Rock up 2-0 on Southern Indiana. Back here inside Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois, your Little Rock Trojans are on top of Southern Indiana 2-0 here as we head to the top of the third. Brody Bunting, the North Little Rock High School grad, on the hill for the Trojans, and he's gone 2 scoreless so far. He's been able to dance out of a couple jams. There was runner on third and 1 out for Southern Indiana in the first inning. Bunting was able to get 2 back-to-back swinging strikeouts on the 3 and 4 hitters in the Southern Indiana order. And then last frame, Screaming Eagles had 2 on and 2 out, and they double stole in an 0-2 count. And Trey Hill, Little Rock's backstop, able to gun down that lead runner, Noah Foster, at third. So 9-1-2 for Southern Indiana. Zion Stevens takes the first one off the plate for ball 1. Stevens, a .225 hitter, 4 doubles, 15 RBIs on the year. Stevens is 2 for 7 with a triple and an RBI so far in this tournament. He came to the plate, saw a few pitches from Bunting, but then, of course, the caught stealing ended that inning. So he's back up here. And that's an indecisive check swing for strike 1 as he can't hold up the hands. And Bunting gets ahead, or evens up the count, I should say, with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Bunting's been living 90 to 93 with that heater. He's been pumping it for strikes so far, and the slider has been great as well, coming in about 85. That was the pitch there. Lopez, shortstop, fires the first in time to get Stevens over there. A nice play by the Trojans shortstop before the order flips back to the top for the Screaming Eagles. Hunter Miller is the hitter. Left-handed bat grounded out to second his first time up. Jordy Lopez, he's made it look easy all year long for Little Rock at the shortstop position. The Trojans, there was it was a little bit of a worry in the offseason, right? They graduated Alex Seguin last year, a national collegiate finalist for the Gold Glove position at the shortstop position. And he, when he went, Little Rock were a little bit worried they weren't going to have that same defensive structure, but Jordy Lopez has been flying around all year over there making great plays, and he made a pretty routine one there for out number 1. Back to the top here, Miller takes ball 1 low and inside, a 1-0 count to the leadoff man in this Screaming Eagles lineup. Bunting's 1-0 offering, a slider 82, drops it in on the inside corner at the knees, and it's 1-1 to Hunter Miller, the senior left fielder out of Fort Pierce, Florida, in his second year at Southern Indiana. Bunting's 1-1 on the ground to second. 2 high hops for Cooper Chaplin. He fires to first in time. A couple of quick ground outs in the third inning. Brody Bunting rolling along here. And he gets ahead of the Screaming Eagles with 2 quick outs. And now Kai Holiday digs in with nobody on base. Holiday accounting for one of the Screaming Eagles' 2 hits first time through the order. He was able to steal second. A throw got into center field. He was the runner that was on third base for Southern Indiana with 1 out in the inning before Bunting struck out the next 2 hitters he faced. First pitch slider, 81, and that one misses above the zone here to Kai Holiday, grad student out of Tupelo, Mississippi. Bunting here out of the stretch. Little Rock's right-hander fires a fastball. That misses upstairs at 90, and it's quickly 2-0 here to the Lenore Ryan transfer and last year's first-team All-OVC selection, Kai Holiday. Holiday, actually, he's the center fielder for the Screaming Eagles. He grew up alongside the USI's right fielder, Noah Foster, together out in Tupelo. 2-0 pitch there from Bunting, and one of the first 3-ball counts we've seen from him. He falls behind 3-0 here on Holiday. Never a guy you want to put on base. He is the leading base stealer for the Screaming Eagles with 18 this season. And he's 1 pitch away from getting himself to first base. 3-0 pitch, that just missed. Looking for that outside corner and just off the plate. So second walk issued by Brody Bunting so far in this outing, and that's going to bring about a brisk jog from Little Rock's pitching coach, Evan Lee, to go and try and calm down his right-hander. Evan Lee with one of, if not the best resume for a mid-major pitching coach in college baseball. Talking about a guy from Bryant, He was a standout two-way high school star with the Bryant Hornets. He helped Bryant's baseball team alongside Trevor Ezell and a couple other guys. He helped them to a 33-2 year in 2014. And then, of course, he was a Razorback, a 2-year Razorback career. He was a part of the 2018 squad who were just unable to get the job done in Omaha. And then after that, he was drafted in the 15th round in 2018 by the Nationals. So not a bad guy to have in your corner if you're Brody Bunting. 2 outs in this inning, 1 runner on. Kai Holiday was just walked. He's got great speed at first base. And Patrick McClellan, the 3-hole hitter, is at the dish. And Bunting going to check on Kai Holiday. McClellan, a 348 hitter coming into this game, 15 doubles, 5 homers, 49 RBIs, and a 447 on-base percentage. Runner stays put. First pitch, slider, upstairs. Bunting unable to find the command here. 5 straight balls in the top of the third. Trojans on top 2-0. Tying run at the plate. Good speed at first base and 2 outs in this frame. Bunting going to check over there on Kai Holiday once again. Patrick McClellan at the plate. It hasn't been the tournament that he thought it would. He is 0 for 11 with an RBI on a sacrifice fly so far. He also has a sacrifice bunt in this tournament as well, but still looking for his first hit out of the 3-hole for the Screaming Eagles. This is a Southern Indiana offense that doesn't slug particularly well. Just 28 home runs on the season is least in the OVC. They get their scoring done on the base paths primarily. 1-0 runner stays put. Fastball outer half. And Brody Bunting ends his brief stint outside of the strike zone with a strike after 5 balls, and it's 1-1. Brody Bunting trying to repeat his success on this mound in last year's OVC tournament. This is his first start all season long for Little Rock. 1-1 pitch right at the knees, outside corner at 90, and Bunting in control here. 1 pitch away from 3 scoreless innings to get his first start of the season underway. 2 hits for either side. Little Rock getting both of their runs across in the home half of the first with some help from the Screaming Eagles in that frame. That one to the right side. It's through for a base hit out to right field. Kai Holiday going to go. Oh, it gets away from Ty Rhodes. Kai Holiday is going to come around and he's going to score. Throw comes to second. Cut off to third. Nolan Friend picks it, applies the tag. Not in time. Patrick McClellan safe at third base. That is the second error in the last 2 games that we've seen from Ty Rhodes out in right field. Tough spot there. And you can't blame the conditions. It's a fully turf field out here, so the bounces are true. Rhodes there just thinking about the throw to third base there before he had the ball in his mitt. So a single for McClellan, and then an E9 is going to bring the run across for the Screaming Eagles. They get on the board here in the third with a little bit of help from Little Rock. And now it's a 2-1 Trojan lead, tying run 90 feet away, 2 outs for Makaja Wall. First pitch to Wall, slider 82 at the knees for strike 1. Wall, the first team All-OVC catcher, a 299 hitter, 5 doubles, 5 homers, 46 RBIs on the year. He struck out swinging against Bunting his first time, and he's quickly behind 0-2 here. Bunting with a really nice sequence. He went slider that kind of stood up Makaja Wall for the first pitch, and then he went fastball outside corner as far away from the right-handed bat as he could get while staying in the strike zone. 0-2, slider, he froze him for strike 3. Brody Bunting strands the tying run at third base. He picks up his 3rd strikeout tonight. Little Rock, they let 1 run across on an error in the outfield, but the Trojans take a lead into the home half of the third. Little Rock 2, Southern Indiana 1. Back here from Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. Little Rock leading things 2-1 now as we head to the home half of the third. Southern Indiana getting on the board in the top half of this inning. They're getting some help from the Trojans' right fielder, Ty Rhodes, who couldn't corral a bouncing ball out there. It went all the way to the wall, and the Screaming Eagles plated their first run with Kai Holiday. Little Rock going to bring up 2, 3, 4 in this inning. Cade Smith, Nolan Friend, and Blake Simpson due up for your Trojans. A new arm out there already for the Screaming Eagles. Obviously, it's an elimination game for both of these teams, so we expect to see quite a few arms from either side in a tight contest. And the new arm out there for the Screaming Eagles is the right-handed junior from Maynardville, Tennessee, 6'2", Evan Hansen, former Volunteer State Community College player, also a former Division II arm at King College. 20th appearance of the season. 3 of those were starts. 2-2, 7.52 ERA in 26 1/3 innings. 31 hits, 22 earned runs. He's walked 13, and he struck out 12 for the right-hander Evan Hansen, now on the hill for Southern Indiana. And this is his first appearance here in the OVC tournament. First pitch here to Cade Smith, bounce to the left side, foul out in front of it. Trojans opened up their tournament with a victory over these Screaming Eagles, and then they dropped their second game in the winner's bracket to the number 1 seed SIUE Cougars. Dropped that game 4-3, a one-run contest and a close affair. Hansen's 0-1 to Cade Smith. That misses down low. Boy, that missed Mikaja Wall completely. The backstop couldn't corral that, and it got a whole lot of the home plate umpire, Ben Levin. And it's 1-1 now to Cade Smith. Mikaja Wall, the only honoree for the Screaming Eagles this year in terms of OVC selections. He was a first-team All-OVC catcher, but he struggled back there a little bit tonight on the wild pitches and things of that nature. There's already been 2 wild pitches. That's how Little Rock got on the board here in the first inning. And then he failed to protect the umpire there. And now it's a 2-1 count. Last one was way upstairs from Evan Hansen. Little Rock's leading hitter, Cade Smith, leading off this third. Slider just upstairs, 80 miles an hour on that one. And now a 3-1 count here to the first-year Trojan out of Searcy, Cade Smith. Three-one here to Smith. He takes it inside corner, strike one. 82 there. Looked like a change from Evan Hansen. Smith, the Harding University transfer, 343 hitter a season ago. He's sitting 333 this year, and he pops that one sky high on the infield, left side. Third baseman Parker Martin is making the call, and he drifts over to it to make the catch. So Cade Smith is retired to lead off the home half of the third, and there's one down. In steps Nolan Friend now for Little Rock. He grounded that ball to second base his first time up. That looked like it was going to be an inning-ending double play. It ended up getting under the glove of Zion Stevens on the E4. And then Friend was able to score after that in the inning to make it a 2-0 game. So he's 0 for 1, and he has to dance out of the way of a first pitch fastball inside. It's 1-0. Nolan Friend, a second-team All-OVC selection this year in his first year at the Division I level. And he is 6 for 12 in this tournament. And he's got a 2-0 count now, a slider that was nowhere close. Friend, a 321 hitter, 8 doubles, 8 home runs, 37 RBIs. And he's also one of the 15 toughest hitters to strike out in all of Division I baseball this year. He is a pretty surefire choice to put the ball in play. He's got a 3-0 count here. Friend played a couple seasons at Cloud County Community College. 284 hitter there, 116 RBIs and 120 starts in his first 2 seasons at the junior college level. 3-0 here from Evan Hansen. That's downstairs. A 4-pitch walk here issued to Nolan Friend, and so he gets aboard again. There's 1 on and 1 out in this inning. now for Blake Simpson digging in for Little Rock. Simpson, another experienced collegiate player, another first-year Trojan on this roster. Junior out of Toronto. And he has been a factor in this lineup all season long. After the ankle injury kept him out of the first few contests this season, he worked his way back as a DH. That one gets by Makaja Wall again, and Nolan Friend gifted an opportunity to get himself into scoring position. He moves up to second with one out in this inning, and now an RBI spot for Simpson. Simpson actually ran into his mom at the hotel a couple nights ago. She surprised him. Came down all the way from Toronto. Hadn't seen him in 5 months. Came down for the tournament. 1-0 to Simpson. Misses downstairs, 82 on an off-speed pitch. Boy, Evan Hansen, the right-hander for the Screaming Eagles. It has been far and few between with the fastballs from the right-hander. He has really danced around these hitters, and all of a sudden the pitching coach is going to come out here for the Screaming Eagles to have a chat with the right-hander. Pitching coach for USI is Derek Beasley, a former 30th round draft pick by the Oakland Athletics back in 2014. Big opportunity for Little Rock to advance things and try and create more of a cushion. They got off to the 2-0 start in the first, and then Southern Indiana got one back in the top half of the inning. Little Rock trying to respond and reestablish a multi-run advantage. It is Little Rock's 12th year under their skipper, the hometown product, Chris Curry, who was a 4-time draft pick himself. Once the first time out of Conway High School, drafted in the 36th round by the Giants. He declined, went to Meridian Community College, where he was drafted twice by the Detroit Tigers. He declined both of those invitations to join pro ball because he wanted to play for the legendary Ron Polk at Mississippi State, where he led all SEC catchers in fielding percentage in 1999 before eventually accepting his pro ball offer and a 9th-round pick by the Cubs. Big, deep drive out from Blake Simpson. It's carrying, and it's off the wall. Nolan Friend's going to come around and score from second base. Throw comes into second. Blake Simpson, RBI double, and it's a 3-1 Trojan lead. Huge swing for Blake Simpson. It's his 4th hit of this tournament, his 2nd RBI in these championships, his 18th of the year, and Little Rock lead it 3-1. What a big impact that he has been this season for the Trojans, the first-year left fielder. And pitching change now. The skipper, Chris Ramirez, is out to grab the ball from Evan Hansen. The string is going to be short all night long with both teams facing their season ending with a loss. And so Ramirez is going to grab the ball, and we are going to see a new pitcher here. Little Rock have a runner on second, one out in the home half of the third. Trojans up 3-1. We'll be right back. Back here inside Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. Call to the bullpen here for Southern Indiana. Already the third arm for the Screaming Eagles in this one, as we are got one out in the home half of the third. Trojans with a runner on second base. That's Blake Simpson after he just drove in a run on an RBI double. Angel Cano digging in here for the Trojans. Caden Laird is the new arm for the visitors. Right-handed sophomore from Brownwood, Texas, getting his 31st appearance this season and already his third appearance in the Southern Indiana's fourth game in this tournament. Angel Cano hit a sharp ground ball to shortstop. He was retired on a 6-3 ground out his first time. First pitch on the ground to short. This one off the hands. Charging his slack, he fires to first in time to get Cano for the second out in this frame. One pitch, one out, and Angel Cano is 0 for 2. Perfect start for the bullpen outing of Caden Laird, as he's able to retire last year's Baton Rouge Regional MVP.
Number 17, Nico Bamba.
And now it's Nico Bamba, the two-time All-OVC first-team selection, with an RBI opportunity here. 11 doubles, 3 homers, 21 driven in on his season, and he takes a first pitch slider at 81 in there for a strike. Bamba was forced to miss about 5 or 8 games or so throughout the middle of the season. It was in the end of February, early March, as he fouls off the 0-1 out of play. He was hit by a pitch on his left wrist at Missouri State. X-rays came back negative. It was nothing major, but it kept him out for about a week or two. And that's never a guy you want out of your lineup for Little Rock. 305 hitter this season. He's got a career average well north of 300. He hit 357 in his first 2 seasons. That ball down the right side. It gets through out to right field. It's a base hit, and it's going to bring Blake Simpson home. Little Rock lead at 4-1, an RBI single for Nico Bamba, and the Trojans with a 3-run lead here in the third. A big-time swing in the career of Nico Bamba. Just a career of big swings for him. The grad student out of Euless, Texas, Bamba. He's done so much for this program, but he was not a part of the Trojans for their last year's run to the Baton Rouge Regional. You know that he wants to get there and have some fun there in the summer this year. Ty Rhodes takes the first pitch slider that misses low. Trojans already 2 runs across in this inning, and now an opportunity for the fourth-year Trojan out of Jonesboro, Arkansas, to prove impactful here in the home half of the third. 4-1 Little Rock lead. Bamba leading off the first 2 outs, and now a 2-0 count, 89 off the plate. Ty Rhodes for Little Rock, top 5 in program history in at-bats, hits, doubles, RBIs, runs, total bases, and games played. 2-0 to Rhodes, fouled into the back netting. Rhodes was an all-freshman team selection back in 2023. Surprisingly, that's the only OVC honor that he's been awarded. Last year, he was terrific. 60 starts, 299 average, 13 doubles, 9 homers, and 44 RBIs for Rhodes a season ago, but no recognition from the league. Slider fouled into the back net, and it's 2-2. And this year for Rhodes, he's right there in that same kind of situation, 281 hitter. 15 doubles, team lead there, 3 homers, 19 RBIs. He was really clutch for Little Rock down the stretch this time of the year last season. 2-2. He holds the hands back. Boy, Rhodes wanted to pull the trigger on an outside fastball, but he's able to lay off of it and work the count full. He singled his first time up. He's 3 for 10 in this championships, a double and an RBI. 3-2, runner on the move over to short. Clayton Slack, off-balance throw to first, and a nice play by Southern Indiana's shortstop to end the inning. But Little Rock plate 2 on 2 hits. They leave 1 stranded. Trojans lead it 4-1 after 3 here in Marion, Illinois. Back here inside Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois, your Little Rock Trojans on top of the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles, 4-1 here in an elimination game. Loser goes home. Winner moves on to face SIUE, scheduled for a 1 o'clock start tomorrow. The regular season champion SIUE Cougars waiting for the winner of this game. Little Rock, they've got their backs to the wall. They've got to win 4 more here in a row, including this one, if they want to make it back-to-back regional appearances for the first time in program history. Of course, Trojans won this tournament last season all the way from the 8th seed. Little Rock came in last year. They had lost 13 of their final 14 games in the regular season, and then they came here and won 5 in 4 days to win this tournament. They're trying to conjure up some of that magic here again in Marion. Brody Bunting, the North Little Rock High School grad, is dealing so far, and he fires the first pitch fastball 89 outside corner to Clayton Slack, the right-handed hitting shortstop, for strike 1. That one on the ground is short. Jordy Lopez charging, off-balance throw to first, and Angel Cano is there, and there's 1 down in the 4th. Brody Bunting continuing to pound the strike zone with the fastball, get weak contact. Again, this is a really large ballpark with no wind, and the wind today has been blowing in from dead center or left center all day long and into the evening here in Marion. So it plays even bigger. It is a very pitcher-friendly park, and Brody Bunting has been pitching friendly, although that ball is absolutely uncorked. A first pitch fastball, an aggressive swing, and another big fly for Parker Martin. Southern Indiana's third baseman gets Little Rock once again his second home run in this tournament, his second home run against the Trojans. Parker Martin has picked up his 4th extra base hit in these OVC championships, and that cuts the deficit for Southern Indiana down to 2. It's a 4-2 Little Rock lead in the top of the 4th. Well, you got to really get a hold of one in these conditions to get one out here at Mountain Dew Park, and that's just what Parker Martin did on that first pitch fastball to make it a 2-run game. And so here's Noah Foster now. He doubled his first time up, and he takes strike 1. Bunting right back in the zone of fastball at 88 for strike 1. Bunting slider on 0-1, grounded, 2 high hops for Lopez. He fires to first, and oh, what a pick at first base by Angel Cano. That is just a terrific play on both ends. Mentioned how high the hops are on this turf, so infielders know they've got to get rid of it in a hurry. Lopez's throw was low, but Cano was right there. Talking about Little Rock shortstop and first baseman, the connection that they've had, they have played with one another all the way from high school at Life Prep Academy in Wichita, Kansas. Then they were junior college teammates at Western Oklahoma State College, and now they're together here in Little Rock, the shortstop and first baseman for the Trojans. 2 outs in the inning, nobody on base. Drew Sines takes the first pitch slider at the knees for strike 1. Sines worked a walk off of Bunting his first time. Sines 1 for 11 in this tournament so far up to this point. He had a single and a walk. Sines, who is the DH today, he was in the squat catching for Southern Indiana on Wednesday against Little Rock. The 1-1, and that misses there off the plate. A fastball. Brody Bunting velocity still looking good there. That one at 90, but missed the spot. Bunting up over 60 pitches in this one. But again, head coach Chris Curry said, as long as the game situation presents itself, I'm going to stick with the right-hander Bunting. And he gets a foul ball there on a 2-1 pitch, a fastball, and it's now 2-2. Signs a .266 bat, 5 doubles, 2 homers, 25 RBIs. Brody Bunting trying to get through this 4th inning with just the 1 run across. The 2-2 fastball, 89 upstairs, no chase. And a full count now to the 8-hole hitter for the Screaming Eagles. Brody Bunting, the second-year Trojan, back home in Little Rock, the Sherwood native, with one of the biggest outings here of his career. 3-2. Fastball deep out to right field. Ty Rhodes ranging back. Little Rock's right fielder onto the warning track, and he brings it in to make the catch with a few feet of room in front of the wall and straightaway right. Screaming Eagles get one run on a hit. The solo shot from Parker Martin gets them within two, but it's the Trojans on top 4-2, headed to the home half of the fourth in Marion. Back here inside of Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois, your Little Rock Trojans on top of the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles 4-2, headed in the home half of the fourth inning. Little Rock picking up 2 runs in the first and then a couple in the third, as they're able to reestablish the 2-run lead. They're up by as many as 3. Southern Indiana in the top half of this inning with a solo shot from the red-hot right-handed bat of Parker Martin. And now Southern Indiana going with a new arm. Right-hander out of the junior, out of Grabo, Puerto Rico. 6'2 right-hander Abdriel Figueroa. Figueroa is going to get his 19th appearance. 9 of his 18 appearances this year have been starts. One of those was against the Trojans. He's got a 3-4 record, a 7.77 ERA, and 46 1/3 innings of work. He has given up 54 hits, 40 earned runs, 28 walks, and 33 strikeouts for Abdriel Figueroa, right-hander, and he's got a kind of a wonky arm slot. He'll come across at about a 3/4 angle, about a 2 o'clock release, I'd say. And his start against Little Rock came back on March the 27th. He got hit around a little bit. Trey Hill fouls the first one he sees off. Figueroa against Little Rock on March the 27th started and went 4 innings, gave up 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And Trey Hill leading things off for Little Rock behind 0-1. Figueroa's offering. That's inside. Boy, that was right at the head of Trey Hill if he didn't dance out of the way of 90. And Little Rock's catcher not pleased one bit as he takes a slow walk around the batter's circle to the left side and digs himself back in before a 1-1 pitch. 1-1 pitch, and Hill behind the outside corner fastball at 90 there with a swing, and it's 1-2. Hill, he's already been plunked once in this tournament when he squared around a bunt. It was against the Screaming Eagles 2 nights ago. He was hit in the right ring and pinky finger. Figueroa ready, his 1-2. Goes back to the heater, 91. He misses low and outside. Trey Hill looking to get on base here. The leadoff man in this fourth inning for Little Rock up 2. Figueroa's 2-2 offering, tipped into the glove of Mikaja Wall. First strikeout for Abdriel Figueroa straight out of the bullpen. It is the first strikeout of a Little Rock hitter here all night long so far, and there's one down in the home half of the fourth. Little Rock, their offense doesn't pop off the page statistics-wise when looking at how they compare to the rest of the OVC, but the one thing they do way better than the rest of the league, they do not strike out a whole lot. They have the fewest team strikeouts in the conference, and they have kind of taken that into this tournament. 5 team strikeouts is the most they've struck out in a single game in their first 3 contests. Here's Cooper Chaplin. He was hit by a pitch his first time. Little Rock's left-handed hitting second baseman was 8 for 20 in this tournament last year with a double, 2 homers, and 4 RBIs. And he takes a fastball low off the plate. 2-0 here to Little Rock's second baseman, the senior from Jackson, Mississippi, who began his collegiate career at Meridian Community College, same school that Little Rock head coach Chris Curry began his collegiate career at, and eventually was his first head coaching job as well. 2-0 here from Figueroa. Chaplin gets under one out to left, sky high. Hunter Miller gets under it, and the left fielder makes the play for the second out in the bottom of the fourth. Figueroa already Southern Indiana's 4th pitcher tonight, but that is as expected here in an elimination game. The last thing you want to do as a head coach is leave any of your big guns out of the contest in a win or go home situation. Back to the top of the order for Little Rock. Jordy Lopez digging in. He's grounded out twice, once to third, and then a fielder's choice ground out to short his last time. He's 0 for 2. He squares around to bunt and then pulls it back, a 78-mile-an-hour slider that is well off the plate. That is one of the first off-speed pitches that Figueroa has thrown. It's been a heavy dosage of the 90 to 91-mile-an-hour fastball from the 3/4 arm slot right-hander from Puerto Rico. 1-0 pitch. Jordy Lopez under this one out to straightaway right field. Noah Foster, the right fielder, towards the line a few steps and makes the catch in fair territory. So Trojans go down in order here, 1, 2, 3 in the home half of the fourth, but Little Rock still leading. They're on top 4-2 headed to the fifth here at Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. Back here in Marion, Illinois, as our coverage of the Ohio Valley Conference Championships continue. We head to the top of the fifth. Little Rock's right-hander, the North Little Rock High School graduate and Sherwood native Brody Bunting still working in this one. And what a performance it's been from Bunting so far. 2 runs across, just one of them earned on a solo shot. The other one came across on a fielding error out in right. But Bunting, you consider that he's been a little bit shaky this season. He had just 10 innings of work and 11 bullpen appearances all year throughout the regular season. He's trusted by his head coach, Chris Curry, to go out with the ball and get the start today, his first start all season. And he's able to pick up 4 innings so far on 67 pitches. He's given up just 4 hits in this one through 4 frames, and he's got 9, 1, and 2 here. Zion Stevens leading things off, and he'll take a fastball 89 just above the letters for ball 1. Stevens grounded out to Jordy Lopez at shortstop his first time up. He is 2 for 8 with an RBI triple. so far in this tournament, the right-handed hitting second baseman for the Screagles. And he takes a strike there, 90 at the knees to even things up 1-1. Stevens, a .225 hitter, 4 doubles, 1 triple, well, 2 now, and 15 RBIs on his season. That ball sky high out to right field. Ty Rhodes, Little Rock's right fielder, has to wander over a few steps, and he makes the catch for the first out here in the 5th. Brody Bunting threw 4 1/3, and now the order flipping back to the top for the 3rd time through here for USI. Here is Hunter Miller, left-handed hitting left fielder for the Screaming Eagles. The senior out of Fort Pierce, Florida. Miller is 3 for 12 in this tournament with a couple of RBIs, 4 walks for Miller as well. He's grounded out to Cooper Chaplin at second in both of his appearances so far, and he takes a slider that breaks just below the knees for ball 1. Miller, the leading hitter this season for USI, 380 with 9 doubles, 3 homers, and 19 RBIs. That ball hit sharply down the first base side, but it gets foul just in front of the first base bag, and count evens up 1-1. Brody Bunting, he began this outing with the fastball running up to 93, was the fastest we saw it. And he's sitting at a comfortable 89 to 91 here in the 5th. Couple relievers just stretching out there for the Trojans, but nobody tossing yet. That ball off the hands, but it gets down a bloop single over second base for Hunter Miller. Leadoff hitter in this lineup for USI has his first hit here tonight and his 4th hit here of the tournament. So 1 on and 1 out for the Screaming Eagles. They're going to bring the tying run to the plate here in the 5th. Kai Holiday digging in. It has been a nice night at the plate so far for the Screaming Eagles right-handed hitting center fielder, who is 1 for 1, a single back in the 1st, and then he walked and came around to score the opening run for USI in the 3rd inning on that error by Rhodes. Errant pickoff gets away. It's off the body of the base runner Miller. He advances 90 feet to second base, and that's a gift for the Screaming Eagles. Double play no longer in order on the infield. They get a runner in scoring position now with 1 out for their speedster Kai Holiday. Looked like that one went off of the runner who was diving back. Angel Cano, the first baseman, couldn't get over to it first. And already drama before Kai Holiday sees his first pitch. First offering, front door slider. That's a beautiful spot there. Bunting, he started that slider at the body of Holiday, and it just sliced right into the inside corner for strike 1. Foul ball there on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and now the center fielder for the Screaming Eagles is behind 0-2. The second-year Trojan, Brody Bunting, has been great so far in this one. 0-2 pitch, slider. He got him looking on the outside corner. Holiday can't believe it, but it's the 4th punch out for Brody Bunting here tonight. And Little Rock's right-hander with a huge second out in this 5th inning. Checking the radar here in Marion. Looks like maybe a little bit of something that we might get here in the next few innings. Already starting to come down just a little bit here, but it's been kind of intermittent sprinkles all day long as an inside fastball, 90 miles an hour to Patrick McClellan. He has to dance out of the way of the up and in opening pitch. McClellan at the plate, senior from San Diego. Right-handed hitting first baseman for the Screaming Eagles, representing the tying run. Trojans up 4-2. That went out to center, drifting towards right field. Ty Rhodes, right fielder, makes the call, and he makes the catch for a crucial 3rd out to get through 5 2-run innings for Brody Bunting. Screaming Eagles conjure up a hit, but they leave Hunter Miller stranded at second. Trojans up a couple. We're halfway through things here at Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. Back here inside Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois, rain still coming down here. Nothing too major. It's not pouring by any stretch. Just some sprinkles. Nothing that these two teams can't play through. Little Rock Trojans on top of the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles, 4-2 here. Little Rock bringing up 2, 3, and 4. Cade Smith, Nolan Friend, and Blake Simpson due up for your Trojans. Cade Smith digging in. The right-handed hitter is 1 for 2. He singled in the first and came around to open the scoring for the Trojans. First pitch from Abdriel Figueroa, the right-hander from Puerto Rico, with the 3/4 arm slot, fires a ball off the plate, and it's 1-0. 1-0 pitch to Little Rock's 2-hole hitter, Figueroa, who works just out of the stretch. 2-hopper to third. It kind of eats up the third baseman, Martin. His long throw across, and unable to make the pick over at first base is Patrick McClellan. Some shaky defense on both sides of the infield for Southern Indiana on that play, and Cade Smith gifted a spot on first base here to get the home half of the fifth underway. Just waiting here to see what that one's going to get scored as on the scoreboard. I think they're still deciding there, the scorekeeper. I think that throw was going to beat him if the pick was able to be made by McClellan. But either way, a base runner here for Nolan Friend. Friend, who walked his last time, he has scored twice after reaching on an error his first time up. First pitch to him, fastball 90 in there for a strike. Still waiting for a score on that Cade Smith ground ball, but Little Rock with a runner on, nobody out. Slider there, and the first really good breaking ball from Abdriel Figueroa. It's been all fastballs until that point. Just a couple of sliders from him so far in his relief outing, but prior to that pitch, all of the breaking pitches had ended up low and off the plate. And it is an error there on that previous play for Smith. 0-2 to Nolan Friend off the plate with the fastball at 89. Good take there from Nolan Friend. Friend, who took the OVC by storm in his opening weekend against Tennessee Tech. He went 7 for 14 with 3 homers and 7 RBIs. 1-2 from Figueroa. Up and in. Friend evens the count 2-2. Little Rock's third baseman was named to Baseball America's Team of the Week after that performance at Tennessee Tech. That was the third week of March. And Nolan Friend, he's only struck out 13 times in 196 at-bats this season. But Figueroa has got good strikeout stuff on the mound. 2-2. On the ground high, chopper over to second. Stevens' only play going to be over to first. He gets Friend a quality at-bat as he's able to get Cade Smith into scoring position with now just the 1 out in the inning on the 4-3 ground out for Nolan Friend. And so here is Blake Simpson now, left-handed hitting left fielder for the Trojans. The redshirt junior out of Toronto, the former Missouri Tiger, and an RBI opportunity now with Little Rock up 2 in the home half of the 5th. First pitch to him, slider at 77 right there for a strike. Smith leading off a second. Slight shift in the infield. Second baseman Stevens in the 3-4 hole. The 0-1 goes the other way. High chopper for the third baseman Parker Martin, and he fires out Blake Simpson by a half step at first base. No advancement from Cade Smith at second, and there's 2 down here in the home half of the 5th. So that'll bring up Angel Cano now, Little Rock's first baseman out of Cartagena, Colombia. The 6'2", 225 right-handed bat has grounded out to short twice so far in this one. And Cano is now 4 for 14 in this championships with 2 doubles. The man who made Little Rock postseason history a season ago. First pitch from Figueroa, slider, and Cano fouls it off. He was battling back from an injury a season ago throughout the regular season. He wasn't really quite at full health throughout the year. So he came into the Baton Rouge Regional with just 4 home runs on the year, and then he hit 3 home runs in 5 games against some of the toughest competition in college baseball. 0-1, fastball, Cano behind 90 there. Quick 0-2 count to Little Rock's first baseman. Cano ended the regular season with 5 home runs in the Trojans' final 6 regular season contests. He's got a couple of extra base hits and doubles in this tournament. One of them last night over the first baseman's head. That one to the right side. Stevens has a long way to go. He makes the play in the 3-4 hole. High throw, but it's able to be brought down by McClellan in time to get Angel Cano. So the leadoff error doesn't prove to cost Southern Indiana. Little Rock strand 1 on the bases, and we head to the 6th. Trojans 4, Screaming Eagles 2. Back here for Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. Trojans on top of Southern Indiana 4-2. Brody Bunting, the North Little Rock graduate, is through 5 innings of 2-run ball. One of those is earned, one of them unearned, and he's going to have 4, 5, and 6 in this Screaming Eagles order to contend with. Bunting up to 78 pitches in this outing, and he gets a high pop-up from Makaja Wall on the first pitch out behind second base, and the shortstop, Jerdy Lopez, is there to bring it down for the first out here in the top of the 6th. Nice start to this frame for Brody Bunting. Again, what an outing this has been already for Bunting to eat up these innings. If the Trojans want to make it back-to-back regional appearances, they have to go ahead and win tonight. They have to win 2 tomorrow, and then they have to go and win 1 on Sunday to close things out. Second pitch of the inning on the ground to second base. Cooper Chaplin fires to first. 2 pitches and 2 outs for Brody Bunting here in the second. Efficiency here personified. He's now through 5 2/3 on 80 pitches here in this one. The man who came into this start with just 10 innings pitched this season for the Sherwood native. And he's gone 5 2/3 for Little Rock when it matters most, with the Trojans with their backs to the wall here in an elimination game. Left-handed hitter Parker Martin digging in. He has the 1 earned run off of bunting. It was a first pitch swing and a home run out to right field his last time up. And it's a first pitch slider from bunting. We will not see a 3-pitch inning. And you understand why pitching coach Evan Lee didn't want to throw Parker Martin a first pitch fastball. This is a hitter who is red hot right now in this tournament. He is really seeing the ball well. And that one's in there for a strike. Parker Martin didn't think so. He looked back at the home plate umpire there, Ben Levin, in awe. And it's 1-1. Change up there, a rare change from bunting. And that one misses downstairs. Parker Martin didn't even think about swinging. It's 2-1 now to a dangerous left-handed bat. Martin is 7 for 15 in this tournament with 2 doubles and 2 homers. And that's a good fastball right there on the inside corner. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. He's been warned here, and I'm surprised he hasn't been tossed. Parker Martin there drew a line in the turf to show how the home plate umpire, Ben Levin, how far inside that pitch was. And Levin just warned him. He didn't throw him out. 2-2 from Brody Bunting, and it's fouled down the third base side. Boy, that is something that'll get you a quick hook in college baseball. Usually, if you go and try and show up the home plate umpire, usually you're tossed out of the game. But for Parker Martin, he gets the second life. Trojans up 2 here. Brody Bunting trying to get through the 6th. The 2-2 on the ground to second base. Cooper Chaplin charging, fires to first in time to get Parker Martin. And Brody Bunting, with 6 innings of 2-run ball, Trojans take a 4-2 lead to the home half of the 6th. Little Rock trying to get to the finish line here in the nightcap at Mountain Dew Park. Back here from Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. Game 10, day 4 of the Ohio Valley Conference Tournament. Southern Indiana and Little Rock playing for their lives here, trying to keep their seasons alive. USI trying to move to 30 wins on the year. Little Rock trying to tie their single-season program record of 33 victories. 6-7-8 for the Trojans. Nico Bamba leading things off. 1 for 2 RBI single his last time. This is his first time facing the right-hander from Puerto Rico, Abdriel Figueroa. First pitch slider off the plate. Bomba's got a 1-0 count. Third-year Trojan, 2-time All-OVC selection, first-team All-OVC selection. Bamba with kind of a funny story here in the ever-changing landscape of collegiate athletics, as that ball popped up first base side into foul ground, and it gets out of play. A little help with a nice friendly push from the wind blowing in from center as that one gets out of play. So Bamba, his senior season was in Little Rock in 2024. He had his senior day and everything. And However, he was able to get a year of eligibility, non-D1 eligibility. So he went to Lubbock Christian, a Division II school last season, had a senior day there, thought his collegiate career was over. As here's the 1-1 from Figueroa. He has to dance out of the way to not get hit. It's 2-1. Thought his collegiate career was over after last season, but then he gets an NCAA waiver to return. He told me it doesn't take him long to get back into baseball shape. He comes back here to Little Rock for his final ride season, and he has really helped provide some offense for these Trojans. Good 2-1 slider there from Abdriel Figueroa, and it's 2-2. Teammates and coaches having some fun with him. They call him Unk or Abuelo on this team. He's the oldest in the Little Rock dugout. The 2-2 fastball just upstairs, and the count moves full. 90 on the heater from Abdriel Figueroa, the man who at one point was a weekend starter for Southern Indiana, but towards the latter half of the season has been moved into the bullpen for head coach Chris Ramirez in Southern Indiana. Right-hander ready, his 3-2. Slider off the end of the bat, little bloop single, and it gets down into center field for a base hit. It's a multi-hit game for Nico Bamba, and Little Rock have their leadoff man aboard in the home half of the sixth. 2-run lead, Trojans trying to add on more. And stepping in now, Ty Rhodes at the plate, a runner on base and nobody out. And now Little Rock's third base coach, their hitting coach, Matt Parker, wanting to have a quick chat with Rhodes on the third base side. It's Coach Parker's second year in Little Rock. He was a Lyon College graduate. He's a Searcy native, graduated from Lyon in 2007. He is the winningest head coach in Oklahoma Wesleyan history. He was 27 years old when he was given his first head coaching job. His most recent stop before Little Rock was a year at Texas A&M Corpus Christi with the Islanders back in 2024. And so his chat with Ty Rhodes is finished. And Little Rock's fourth-year Trojan here, right fielder who's all over the record books, has a crucial plate appearance now in the sixth. Fastball up and off the plate. It's 1-0 to Rhodes. Ty Rhodes, he passed his former teammate Jake Wright in the all-time games played category in Little Rock program history yesterday, picking up his 213th game. This is his 214th in his Trojan career, and he pops one to the left side, foul and out of play. Very rarely has he not started, has he come off the bench in games in his career. He has now 208 career starts. And he is 1 for 2 with a single so far in this one. This is his first look in this contest against Abdriel Figueroa. Right-hander from the stretch with Bamba on first. His 1-1 is popped to the left side towards the corner. Left fielder Hunter Miller going to chase this one, but he'll run out of room. And it's 1-2 now to Ty Rhodes. Rhodes, he had some big swings down the stretch last year for Little Rock in these playoffs. 6 for 21 in this tournament last year with a double homer and 2 RBIs. And then he was 7 for 21 in the regional with a homer and 5 RBIs. 1-2 to the man from Jonesboro. Foul down the left side. 3 straight foul balls from Ty Rhodes, making Abdriel Figueroa work here in this one. Rhodes from a baseball family. His dad, Todd, was a part of 2 of the best years in Arkansas State baseball history back in 1996 and 1997. Figueroa ready. His 1-2 to Ty Rhodes. That misses downstairs. Good take. Fastball low, and it's 2-2. Todd Rhodes' dad played junior college ball at Connors State for head coach Perry Keith, who has coached some of Ty Rhodes' teammates. That's how long Perry Keith's been in the dugout out in warmer Oklahoma. Little Rock up 4-2 here. Bamba leading off of first, and a 2-2 home to Ty Rhodes. He turns it around out to the right side, past the diving glove of Zion Stevens, the second baseman. Little Rock in business with back-to-back base hits to lead off the home half of the sixth. Bamba and Rhodes clutching up, and now 2 runners on, nobody on base for Trey Hill, Little Rock's catcher, digging in here. 0 for 2 so far, a fly out to center and a strikeout. Oh, we're going to see a pinch runner here for Little Rock. So Ty Rhodes' day is done. It's a multi-hit game for Rhodes. Michael O'Brien is going to come in. This is head coach Chris Curry thinking about defense. Ty Rhodes has been a little shaky out there in right field. Michael O'Brien, the Mississippi State transfer and defensive specialist, is going to come on. I assume that he's probably going to move to center field, and we're going to see probably Cade Smith move to right, if I had to guess. And here's Trey Hill. He's squaring around early here. He's able to lay the bunt down third base side, but it gets foul. And it's 0-1. So Bomba on second, Michael O'Brien at first, and nobody out here for Trey Hill. Let's see if he can get the bunt down at the second time of asking, or if Little Rock even sticks with the small ball. Trey Hill, in this same situation, he tried to lay down a bunt on Wednesday night against this same squad, and he was hit by a pitch on his right hand. 0-1 from Figueroa, slider, and a beautiful bunt down the third base side. McKay Jawal jumps up out of the squat, throw to first base is in time, but job well done from Trey Hill. And he's going to get loads of high fives back in the first base dugout from his squad. Little Rock in pole position here. 2 runners in scoring position, just 1 out in the home half of the 6th. They're up 4-2. And Cooper Chaplin, the man who started all 61 games for Little Rock's historic season last year, digs in with a chance to drive home 2. Chaplin is 0 for 1. He was plunked back in the second. First pitch from Figueroa, slider turned around, look out down the first base side, and it's 0-1. Chaplin was 8 for 20 in this tournament last year. And he clutched up even more in that Baton Rouge regional. 0-1 from Figueroa. Fastball turned around out to right field. Caught by Foster. Bomba initially came home. He had to retreat, and he's unable to score on the line out to right field. Tough break for Little Rock there. Bomba didn't read it well off of the bat. His first 3 steps were towards home, and then by the time he recovered, the ball was already in the infield. So no chance to tag for Bomba, and now 2 outs, and the order flips back to the top. 4th time through for the Trojans. Jerdy Lopez is the man tasked with driving these 2 runs home. Little Rock with some uncharacteristic base running mistakes in these past 2 nights. Something that they'll have to shore up down the stretch here if they want to keep their season afloat. Slider, outside corner from Abdriel Figueroa, in there at 77. Lopez for Little Rock, 261 bat, 5 doubles. The speedy shortstop here for the Trojans, right-handed hitter against the right-handed Figueroa. Big hole up the middle on the infield. The 0-1 slider misses low and off the plate. Screaming Eagles have to be careful how many off-speed pitches they offer here. With the runner 90 feet away, that was how Little Rock got on the board in the first inning. It was a wild pitch. 1-1 from Figueroa, off the hands and foul off the bat of Lopez down the right side. He was a touch tardy there on 90. And it's 1-2 here. Abdriel Figueroa, Southern Indiana's right-hander from Puerto Rico, is 1 pitch away from stranding a couple of Trojans in scoring position. Sprinkling still rain coming down here in Marion. 1-2 from Figueroa, slider, and Lopez just able to get a piece of it and earn himself another 1-2 offering. Huge opportunity for Little Rock that they're going to try and not let go by the wayside. They were set up in pole position. They still are here, just 2 outs in the inning now with the runners on second and third. Figueroa ready out of the stretch. His 1-2, check swing. Over to first, no swing. Play at the plate. Bomba safe. It got away from McKay Jawal, the catcher, who appears to be in a great deal of pain behind home plate. Bomba with a great read as he's able to score on the play. Michael O'Brien moves up to third, and now all the attention on the backstop here. McKay Jawal didn't see what happened to him there. initially the throw got away from him, but he is still laying chest down in the dirt here next to home plate. He is still laying down and now needing medical attention. He's in a great amount of pain right now by home plate. Trojans take the 5-2 lead here in the bottom of the sixth. I'm going to take another look at this one and just see if I can see anything on the replay here from Mikaja Wall. He went down. It went off the umpire, and then, he lost his balance. It could have got his ankle stuck in the turf. I would have to assume it was a leg injury. He's holding his right hip, Mikaja Wall. And now he's back to his feet. He was down in a heap. You were thinking the worst there for a few moments. He was not really moving at all for 30 to 45 seconds, and now he's back up to his feet. The 6'6" catcher for the Screaming Eagles. Rarely do you see a catcher with such stature. And he's back in the squad here. Still the trainer and head coach Chris Ramirez is out there for Southern Indiana, and now Wall is pointing kind of up into the upper hip area, up into the lower torso on the right side, but he has his helmet back on and he's ready to go. So Wall is all right. 5-2 game. Michael O'Brien at third base. 2 outs in this inning. Abdriel Figueroa will stay on the mound. Boy, Figueroa was trying to throw him a warm-up pitch just to make sure Wall was all right, and he threw it to the backstop. Wall dealing with some pain on that right hip area. And a couple of warm-up pitches for the catcher. He says he's good to go. Little Rock up 5-2. And 2 of their 5 runs have come across on Southern Indiana Wild pitches. Jordy Lopez here resuming his plate appearance. Michael O'Brien at third base. Little Rock leading 5-2 in the bottom of the sixth. The 2-2 count to Little Rock shortstop, who's 0 for 3 so far. 2-2 in there, called strike 3. Lopez set down on strikes. Abdriel Figueroa gets out of the jam, but the Trojans plate an insurance run on a couple of hits. They take a 5-2 lead into the final 3 frames. Trojans on top, 9 outs away from punching their ticket into tomorrow's clash with the 1-seed Cougars. Back here from Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. Little Rock on top 5-2. They played 1 in the home half of the sixth on a wild pitch. Second run that they brought across in that regard. And now 7, 8, and 9 here for the Screaming Eagles. Bottom third of the order. What an outing it's been for Brody Bunting. The North Little Rock High School graduate has gone 6 innings of 2-run ball in his first start all season. He had just 10 innings pitched up to this point this year, as Noah Foster on a 1-for-2 day has a 1-0 count. He takes a front door slider there to even things up 1-1. Bunting up to 88 pitches now. Retired 5 straight Screaming Eagles. Fastball on the ground to short. 2 hops for Jerry Lopez. Off-balance throw to his high school and junior college teammate Angel Cano for the first out here in the 7th. 1 down. Little Rock 8 outs away now from punching their ticket to the loser's bracket final, if you will, tomorrow against the 1 seed SIUE Cougars. And in steps Drew Signs. He caught against Little Rock 2 days ago. He's the DH tonight. He's 0 for 1 with a walk off of Bunting back in the 2nd. First pitch, slider for a strike. Boy, what poise Brody Bunting has shown here in this start with his ability to command both the fastball and the slider. He's lived about 90 to 93 with that heater, and the off-speed stuff has been brilliant. Back to the slider there. You can't get the chase, and it's 1-1. This is the 15th all-time meeting between Little Rock and Southern Indiana. Little Rock leads the all-time series 10-4. This is the 4th postseason meeting. Little Rock leading 2-1 in those matches in Marion. 1-1 pitch, slider just off the plate. A little bit of a flinch there from our home plate umpire, Ben Levin, but he doesn't pull the trigger. And it's 2-1 now for Drew Signs. Trying to get on base. Southern Indiana trailing Little Rock 5-2 here in the 7th. Fastball from Bunting, 90 upstairs. It's 3-1. Bunting in danger of putting on Drew Signs on the free pass. (3-1). Popped sky high on the infield. Second baseman Chaplin calling for it. Meandering over to shallow right field, and he makes the catch for the second out here in the 7th. Bunting through 6 2/3 now in his first start all season. So 9-hole hitter Zion Stevens is up now. He's 0 for 2. He grounded out to short back in the 3rd, and he flew out to right field back in the 5th. Brody Bunting here 1 out away from going 7 innings, just like he did against Lindenwood in last year's tournament here in Marion. You're talking to head coach Chris Curry before this game. He said he really likes Bunting because he's had a good time on this mound before in his career, and that decision paying dividends so far. 1-0, hit pretty well out to right field. Cade Smith moved over there from center when Michael O'Brien came into the game, and Cade Smith gets over to it in the corner to make the play. A 1-2-3 7th. Brody Bunting's retired 8 straight Screagles, and we stretch it out here at Mountain Dew Park. Trojans 5, Screaming Eagles 2. Back here with our coverage of the Ohio Valley Conference Championships. Game 10, day 4 of the tournament. Little Rock trying to stay alive and level their single season program record tally, 33 wins that they set in 1990 and 2000. 2-3-4 up in the home half of the seventh for Little Rock. Cade Smith is 1 for 3 so far tonight, and he will face Abdriel Figueroa for the second time as he takes a fastball 89 in there on the inner half for strike one. Trojans trying to tie that single season program record. Southern Indiana trying to become the 7th OVC team this year to pick up 30 wins, something that has never happened in the 75-year history of the Ohio Valley Conference. 0-2 here to Cade Smith. Last pitch was a slider. He goes back to it. That one off the cap of the bat, and Figueroa with the comebacker is able to jog it over and underhand it to first base for the first out in this seventh. And so now a plate appearance for Nolan Friend. Friend, he began this tournament in the 5-hole, where he has hit for about the last 2 or 3 weeks in this order. Talking to head coach Chris Curry, he said he just has to move. He just had to move him up a couple of days ago because of how well he had been hitting. He's up in the 3-hole for the second straight game, and he is 0 for 1. He's reached twice, though, once on an error and once on a walk. And he has come around to score twice for Little Rock tonight. He takes a strike fastball 88, outer half for strike one. 6'1", 215 for Little Rock's third baseman, who has played terrific defense in this tournament. And that one low and off the plate, 1-1 now to Friend. Friend had a really memorable double play that he turned against the Screaming Eagles 2 nights ago. It was a popped-up bunt on the infield to the third base side. He came sliding through in front of the mound to make a great play and then doubled off the runner at first base to get the Trojans out of a jam. 1-1. Figueroa's fastball fouled into the back netting. And it's 1-2 now to Little Rock's third baseman out of Kingman, Kansas. Friend was recently, just before this tournament started, selected as a second-team All-OVC selection. Not too bad for your first year as a Division I player. 1-2 from Figueroa, 89 well off the plate, count to 2-2. Friend is 6 for 12 in this tournament with an RBI and 4 runs scored for Little Rock. He has come around to score more than any other Trojan in these championships so far. Figueroa ready. His 2-2. Slider back up the middle. It's a base hit for Nolan Friend. First hit of the night for Little Rock's third baseman. His 7th hit of these championships. And he's on first base here with 1 down in the bottom of the 7th. Little Rock trying to extend their 3-run advantage. That's their 7th hit of this contest. Boy, it's a full box score in this one. Eagles 2 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors. And Little Rock 5 runs on 7 hits and 3 errors. So crooked numbers everywhere out in the box score. And Blake Simpson digs in. It's a 1 for 3 night so far for Simpson. A couple of RBIs and a double for Little Rock's left-handed hitting left fielder from Toronto. And Simpson can't believe the strike one call. 88 in there at the knees or perhaps below. But it's 0-1 regardless. Simpson, who was supposed to be a middle infielder, a starting middle infielder for the Missouri Tigers last year before he suffered an injury. He was only able to take 12 at-bats with Missouri a season ago. He's going to have to run out a double play here. Stevens smartly puts the tag. No, he missed Nolan Friend over there at second base. Nolan Friend gets into second. Zion Stevens, the second baseman, can't believe it. He thought he placed the tag there, and we're going to see a challenge, I do believe. Chris Ramirez, the head coach, is out of the dugout, and the universal challenge symbol with the hands on the ears, mimicking the headsets from the umpiring crew here. So this is going to go to review. If it stands, it'll be 2 outs in the inning and Nolan Friend on second base. If it's overturned, it's going to be an inning-ending double play, and we'll head to the 8th. And oh, by the way, Brody Bunting, 96 pitches and 7 innings into his outing, and it looks like Little Rock has no plans to go anywhere else. It's a quiet bullpen down in the right field corner, as you would expect in this tournament format. Trojans trying to save all those bullpen arms. And if you look at these first 3 games, this is the 4th game already for the Trojans in this tournament, as we have a call here. safe is the call. Nobody actually gave the safe signal. They just pointed to second base, but Nolan Friend going to stay there. And now head coach for Southern Indiana, Chris Ramirez, is getting an explanation. All right, so call stands. Fred's at second base. There are 2 outs in the inning. Blake Simpson with a quality at bat on the ground out as he's able to get Friend up into scoring position. So here's Angel Cano. He has grounded out 3 times, twice to short, once to second. The Colombian crusher, the senior from Cartagena, with an RBI opportunity. Little Rock leading 5-2, bottom 7, with an insurance run at second base and 2 outs. Nolan Friend bouncing around over there. First pitch to Cano, outside corner for strike 1. Cano, who's had a long, rocky road in his collegiate career. He was one of the best junior college hitters in the country, .413 average for Western Oklahoma State. He earned a transfer to Kansas ahead of 2024, but injury kept him off of the field for the Jayhawks. 0-2 now as he fouls one off. Finds his way to Little Rock, battles injury all last season. And then the first time in his collegiate career or his Division I career where he's healthy was the Baton Rouge Regional at Alex Box Stadium. And he went on a tear, 3 homers and 15 RBIs in a 5-game span. Named the MVP of that tournament. 0-2. Foul down the right side, sky high and out of Mountain Dew Park, and it stays 0-2. Cano, he was one of the rare ever selections to be an MVP of a regional on the team that did not end up advancing to the Super. Little Rock unable to get the job done in that final game against LSU. Abdriel Figueroa, he stepped off there, and he kind of had Nolan Friend jumping towards third, but both middle infielders very far away from the second base bag. They're leaving a huge gap up the middle here on Angel Cano, and now the shortstop with a little fake there. Slider popped up behind home plate. McKay Jawal chases, and he's going to run out of room. It's back onto the awning, and we'll do it again 0-2. Angel Cano looking for his first hit here tonight. He's now 4 for 15 in this tournament, 2 doubles and 2 RBIs for Little Rock's leading slugger and home run hitter. 0-2 from Abdriel Figueroa. He got Cano to climb the ladder on a fastball upstairs. Just the 3rd strikeout by a Trojan all night as Figueroa dances around the 1-out single. Trojans get a hit, but they bring nobody across. We move to the final 2 frames. Brody Bunting back on the hill. Little Rock 5, Southern Indiana 2. Back here inside Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois, another defensive change here for head coach Chris Curry as he wants some more speed in the outfield. Little Rock left fielder Blake Simpson's night is done as Cade Smith moves from right to left. And now the new right fielder, Austin Coyle, the man from Kamloops, British Columbia in Canada. So Cade Smith has now played all three outfield positions here tonight. Trojans up 5-2 as we enter the eighth. Top of the order, fourth time through for the Screaming Eagles. Strike one here to Hunter Miller, who is 1 for 3 off of Brody Bunting so far. Bunting 97 pitches into this outing as he's into his eighth inning of work here for Little Rock. Swing and a miss. He swings over the top of a slider. Brody Bunting continuing to pound the strike zone, get chases, and stay ahead in the count. Infield playing straight up defensively against Hunter Miller, the leadoff hitter for Southern Indiana. 0-2 pitch, and it misses just downstairs. Trey Hill couldn't squeeze it. Painful one for the catcher there. It looks like it caught a little bit of his body after it went off the glove. One and two, Bunting ahead of Miller here, trying to start the eighth hot. On the ground is second, 2 hops for Cooper Chaplin. Easy throw over to first, and there's one down. Little Rock 5 outs away from setting a date at 1 o'clock with the 1-seed Cougars. And now it's Kai Holiday, who has been on base in 2 of his 3 battles with Brody Bunting so far. Kai Holiday, a single and a walk. He struck out looking his last time. Bunting, first pitch slider, and it's a beauty. He has been getting, there's some either indecisive swings or frozen takes on that slider all night long, and he gets ahead of Holiday 0-1. He goes to it again, and he just misses the inside corner as he tried to stand up Holiday with the front door breaker there. It's 1-1. 1-1 pitch from Bunting. Tried to find the outside corner with the heater. Can't find the spot. 88 off the plate. 2-1 now to Southern Indiana's grad student center fielder from Tupelo, Mississippi. 2-1 from Bunting. That misses off the plate. He tried to go right back to it. 89, though, in a similar spot. And it's a 3-ball count here. Bunting, who has retired 9 straight USI hitters, now in danger of putting aboard really good speed in Holiday. No Trojans tossing just yet. Slider misses. It's a free pass. Second walk issued to Holiday here in this outing. Just the 3rd walk for Brody Bunting in 7 1/3 frames. And again, leading stolen baseman for USI with 18 stolen bags is on first base in a 5-2 Little Rock game with 1 out in the 8th. Patrick McClellan here. First baseman batting from the right side. 3-hole hitter for Southern Indiana. Trying to give USI a lifeline here. First, a pickoff move over to check on Holiday. Little Rock leading 5-2, 5 outs away from keeping their season alive and improving to 33 wins, a mark that they've only reached twice before and haven't reached in 26 years. 1-0, slider misses to McClellan. Screaming Eagles finally starting to lay off of this slide piece. Bunting looking for some swings and misses or something on the ground here for McClellan. We have a pitch comm issue here on Trey Hill's device, the catcher. Oh, no, it's Bunting that needs a new one, the right-hander. That's what happens when you go 7+ innings. Your pitch comm starts to die on you out there. Bunting outliving the pitch comm device as he gets a fresh one inside the hat. Pitching coach Evan Lee out there to give them the new technology. 1 on and 1 out for Southern Indiana. Brody Bunting, Little Rock's starter. The man who hadn't started a single game all season long, up over 100 pitches and pitching into the 8th when it matters most with Little Rock's season on the line. Still some issues here with the technology. Now a thumbs up from Bunting to his first base dugout. He's got the good one. And he can hear the pitch calls from his pitching coach, Evan Lee. 1 on and 1 out here. Little Rock up 5-2. Speedster Kai Holiday on at first base. 3-hole hitter Patrick McClellan at the dish. A 1-for-3 night for McClellan so far. He singled off of Bunting back in the 3rd, and he waves and misses. Just the maybe 5th or 6th changeup that Bunting has thrown all night, and he's able to get the wave and a miss over the top as he pulls the string on McClellan. Slight shift on the infield for the Trojans, nothing major, but 3 left-sided infielders just a step towards the pull side against the right-handed McClellan. Cooper Chaplin, the second baseman, hugging that second base bag. Jordy Lopez a step towards the 5-6 hole, and then Nolan Friend, the third baseman, really hugging that third base line against McClellan, a dangerous bat. Runner stays put, strike in there on 2-1, outside corner. Brody Bunting has stayed at 90 all outing long. He's up over 100 pitches, and he's only lost maybe 2 ticks off of the fastball all night. 2-2 here. Bunting looking for a swing and the miss or something on the ground. Check on Holiday first. McClellan for Southern Indiana, a 348 hitter. But that has not translated into this tournament so far. He is 1 for 14 so far in these championships. But he can amend all of that with a big swing now. And he tips it into the glove of Trey Hill, who holds on to it. 5 strikeouts for Bunting and a huge second out in this 8th inning. Monumental K for Brody Bunting there. What a time for it. He went back to that changeup that he was able to get the swing and miss on from McClellan on that first pitch. And good enough to sit McClellan down for the second time tonight. Here's McKay Jawal now. Southern Indiana's catcher, the first team All-OVC selection, takes strike 1 on a slider that breaks toward the outer half. Wall is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a pop out to Jordy Lopez at short his last time. Holiday hasn't broke for second yet. He'll stay, and this time Wall is right on the slider. That's a base hit out to center field. Michael O'Brien will throw it back in towards second. Runners at the corners as Kai Holiday advances up to third base. And just like that, Southern Indiana are going to bring the tying run to the game here in the 8th. How much does Little Rock head coach Chris Curry give Brody Bunting here? Looking down the right field corner, they've got a right-hander tossing, or at least on the rubber, waiting to start tossing. They're going to stick with Brody Bunting now. 5-hole hitter Clayton Slack, the shortstop, right-handed bat, is 0 for 3, a pop out and 2 ground outs so far tonight. First pitch slider off the plate, ball 1. 324 hitter for the Screaming Eagles this year. And this is his biggest at-bat of the season with USI's backs to the wall. Fastball, check swing. He went around, but it's in the zone anyway. 90 on a heater outside, 1-1 count. Bunting still working and deep into the 8th inning, and he's still getting indecisive swings on his fastball. 1-1. Heater just missed the outside corner at the knees. Boy, that one didn't miss by much. 2-1 now to Clayton Slack. Tense moment here in the 8th. Southern Indiana with their first runner in scoring position since the 5th inning. They feel like the time is now. 2-1 from Bunting. Front door slider. Stays up and in. You have to think this could be Bunting's last hitter right here. The Trojans have their right-hander from down under, the Australian Josh Beasley, warming up in the bullpen down in the right field corner, and pitching coach Evan Lee is going to do a rare slow walk out there. Now he's out to his usual brisk jog as he tries to give Josh Beasley a little bit more time to warm up down in the corner. Evan Lee with the whole infield in as he tries and calms down the right-hander bunting behind 3-1 in this spot. This is a pitching coach for Little Rock that was on a big league mound as recently as 4 years ago with the Washington Nationals. The former standout two-way player for the Razorbacks back in 2017 and 18. Coach Lee in his first year calling pitches for Little Rock. And he'll jog back to the dugout now. Bunting ready to go. A couple new pitch calm devices for some infielders. And here we go. Little Rock up 5-2. Runners at the corners. Tying run at the plate. Clayton Slack has a 3-1 count. In a big spot with 2 outs in the 8th inning. 3-1 from Bunting. Outside corner at 90. Right back in the zone. He fills it up 3-2. What do you got left in the tank here, Brody Bunting? McKay Jawal at first base is going to get a head start here to second. Action pitch upcoming. The 3-2. He got him looking on the slider. And Clayton Slack can't believe it. Brody Bunting picks up strikeout number 6. 8 2-run innings for Brody Bunting. The North Little Rock grad in his first start of the year has gotten the Trojans all the way to the finish line. Little Rock lead by 3. We head to the home half of the 8th in Marion. Back here from Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. Little Rock leading 5-2. Brody Bunting going 8 2-run innings, 118 pitches in his first start all season. 6 strikeouts for him as he gets out of that jam in the 8th inning with the tying run at the plate. And in the aftermath, in that in-between innings, saw a Southern Indiana assistant coach get rung up and tossed out of this game. Maybe even a couple of players, too. There were 3 umpires down the third base side towards that dugout, and they were just pointing at a whole bunch of guys in the dugout. I lost track of who was tossed. Bamba here at the plate. Big swing and a miss for Little Rock's designated hitter out of the 6th hole. 6, 7, and 8 for the Trojans here. Bamba 2 for 3 with a couple singles, an RBI, and a run tonight. It's been a really long and nice outing out of the bullpen for the Puerto Rican right-hander Abdriel Figueroa for Southern Indiana. He has gone 4 innings and given up just 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and he has struck out 3 Trojans. But Little Rock have put up enough offense to support the North Little Rock grad, Brody Bunting. Figueroa's 1-1 slider misses off the plate, and Nico Bamba ahead 2-1, trying to make it a 3-hit game. Bamba is 6 for 13 in these OVC championships. He gets a front door slider there. That one stood him up, not what he was looking for. He takes that one for strike 2, count even. .315 hitter on the year, Nico Bamba, in his last ride campaign with the Trojans. 2-time All-OVC first-team selection. Figueroa ready, his 2-2. Fastball fouled out of play. Little Rock would love some insurance here for whichever arm they go to in the 9th inning. There's quite a few maroon jerseys down around the rubber in the bullpen. Nobody in too much of a hurry to get warm, though, for Little Rock. Surely Brody Bunting doesn't go back for the 9th after 118 pitches. Nico Bamba with a base hit up the middle. It's a 3-hit day for Little Rock's DH, and he gets himself aboard an all-important insurance run on first base now in the home half of the 8th. Nobody out here. And Michael O'Brien going to get a trip to the plate. The junior out of River Ridge, Louisiana, the New Orleans suburb, spent his last 2 seasons as a Mississippi State Bulldog. This is his 49th appearance. So he's appeared in most games. He just started 14 of them. He usually comes on late as a defensive replacement. This one to short, and it's booted off the glove of Clayton Slack. It looked like it was destined to be a 6-4-3 double play on the ground to short, but instead it's an E6, and the Trojans are brewing here in the home half of the 8th. They've got 2 on, nobody out, and Trey Hill coming to the plate for Little Rock. Trey Hill, his last time up against Figueroa, was able to lay down a terrific sacrifice bunt down the third base side on a slider nonetheless. So I'm sure that Little Rock going to try and do something similar. A visit on the mound here for the Screaming Eagles. Out to talk to Figueroa is the backstop, Mikaja Wall. I tell you, very rarely when you see a mound visit is the catcher the tallest guy out there, but the 6'6" backstop, Mikaja Wall, is just towering over the rest of the Screaming Eagles on that mound. And a couple of pats for his right-hander as he's set to go back to the dugout. Maybe, wait, there might be an extra member to join this meeting. Just watching Chris Ramirez, the head coach of Southern Indiana, to see if he steps out of the dugout. And yeah, he's off the top step, and he is going to step out to have a conversation, at least, if not go to the bullpen. Yep, he's going to reach for the right-hander. So that's all for Abdriel Figueroa. He probably should have gotten through this frame with a double play ball. Didn't have too much help from his defense, but 4+ innings for the Puerto Rican right-hander and a nice relief outing. We are in the home half of the 8th. Little Rock lead at 5-2. They've got 2 base runners and nobody out. You're listening to Trojans Baseball on the Trojans and Buzz Networks. Back here inside Mountain Dew Park, new arm on for Southern Indiana. Right-handed junior from Paducah, Kentucky, Levin East with the ball. First-year Screaming Eagle played his ball at John A. Logan College last year. That's about just a 15-minute drive west of here. That's the field that Little Rock have been taking their batting practice on here for their games. Trey Hill squaring around to bunt. 2 on, nobody out. That's down the third base side. It goes foul. And it's 0-1 here to Hill. New arm out there, Levin East, a right-hander here, working against the right-handed hitting backstop Trey Hill, who for the second straight trip to the plate is asked to lay down a sacrifice bunt here. Bomba off a second. Hill there pulls the bunt back and able to lay off of that one. 1-1. Bomba on second. Michael O'Brien is on at first for Little Rock. Nobody out in the home half of the eighth. Trojans trying to add on some crucial insurance runs here. That one off the plate. Fastball. Hill pulls the bunt back. Some nice takes here from Little Rock's catcher. See if he can't pick up another sacrifice bunt. And now a switch up here defensively. McKay Jawal getting some signs from his head coach, Chris Ramirez, in the third base dugout, and he's going to relay those to the infield. Now, both corner infielders are maybe 8 or 10 steps in front of their first and third base bags, but Hill is going to stick with the bunt. And Levin East can't find the strike zone with the heater. 88 low and off the plate. It's 3-1 to Hill. All Little Rock's catcher wants to do is lay a bunt down. And now another change of the defensive alignment for the Screaming Eagles. And it's relayed again by their lanky backstop. Okay, Jawal there relaying the signs. 2 on, nobody out. Trojans up 5-2 in the eighth. Hill going to keep the bat on his shoulder, and he'll chase the slider off the plate. He was sitting dead red there looking for something to be aggressive on ahead in the count. And Levin East and the Screaming Eagles read that situation perfectly. They get him on the chase pitch. Now it's 3-2. 2 strikes on him. He'll swing away. East slider, and Hill makes the adjustment. He's able to lay off of it. Everybody moves up 90 feet. Trojans on the bases all around. Nobody out. And the 9-hole hitter, Cooper Chaplin, digging in for Little Rock. Second team All-OVC selection a season ago, the man who started all 61 games in Little Rock's run to the Baton Rouge Regional Final last year. Chaplin hit a sharp line drive out to right field that was caught by Noah Foster out there his last time up. This is his first meeting with Levin East out of the bullpen for the Screaming Eagles, and he takes strike one there, 89 at the knees. Bomba on third, O'Brien on second. And Trey Hill on first. Nobody out in this eighth inning. Prime opportunity for some insurance runs for the Trojans. And Cooper Chaplin chases an 85-mile-an-hour offering down low. 0-2. Chaplin going to have to shorten up, try and put something in play now. Chaplin 0 for 2, a fly out and a line out. He was hit by a pitch back in the second. 0-2, and he swings and misses there on a changeup below the zone. Chaplin down on strikes for the first time tonight. A huge first out for Southern Indiana as they try and hold Little Rock at 5 and keep this a 3-run game. And now Jordy Lopez is going to dig in for his 5th trip to the plate tonight. Little Rock's leadoff hitter, shortstop, is 0 for 4. He struck out looking his last time. That was against Abdriel Figueroa. First pitch swinging. He swings over the top of a breaking pitch. Slider there, and it's 0-1. Boy, Levin East has neutralized Little Rock since coming out of the bullpen. Able to get plenty of swings and misses out of these Trojans. 0-1 off the plate. He tried to go to the fastball in the outside corner after the first pitch slider. And it is 1-1 now here to Jordy Lopez. Little Rock shortstop with a chance here to drive in some crucial runs. High hopper to third. Nice play by Trojans third base coach Matt Parker, but it's fouled off and it's 1-2. 11 East for Southern Indiana. He's looking for a hard ground ball or a swing and miss right here. Bases loaded, 1 out. Trojans on top by 3, home half of the 8th. East is ready out of the stretch. His 1-2 just fouled off. Dirty Lopez able to just get a piece of that one. 84-mile-an-hour slider from East. His fastball velocity is set comfortably at 88, 89, which you see a lot of in the OVC, but that slider is pretty deceptive. You can almost call it a cut fastball, the way it comes in sharp at 85. He goes back to it, and Lopez able to foul it off. Jerdy Lopez behind 1-2, but not going away easily. Little Rock shortstop. He's 0 for 4 tonight, but he can put all that in the rear view here with the clutch base hit. East's 1-2 off the plate with the fastball, 90, and Lopez doesn't chase. Great take from the right-handed bat here against the righty reliever, Levin East. It's East's second appearance in this tournament. He got hit up a little bit last time out for 3 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings. The 2-2 fouled behind. Southern Indiana with their infield in here. So not just the corners in with bases loaded and nobody out. No, the middle infielders are playing on the baseline as well. A little bit surprised to see Southern Indiana not trust themselves to turn a double play up the middle at second. 2-2. Great take from Lopez on a slider that came in at 81, and a good block as well by McKay Jawal back there, the catcher, with a fitting name for a backstop. Outfield playing pretty shallow on Lopez, and the infield, of course, is in here on the baseline. 3-2. On the ground, it gets down the line and into left field. 2 runs are going to score. Trey Hill moves to third. Jerdy Lopez, a 2 RBI double, and Little Rock leads 7-2. Little Rock's first-year shortstop coming through in the clutch. Jerdy Lopez picking up RBI 29 and 30 on the season. And finally, Little Rock with a little more breathing room, a 5-run cushion before we head to the 9th. A massive swing here, what could be the dagger. And now Cade Smith here at the plate. Runners on second and third. And Chris Ramirez is out to grab the ball from Levin East. So Southern Indiana going to the bullpen. Trojans up 5. Runners on second and third, and still 1 out in the 8th inning. You're listening to Little Rock Trojans baseball on the Buzzin' Trojans Networks. Back here from Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois, Little Rock picking up a couple of huge insurance runs. A 2 RBI double from Jerdy Lopez with the bases loaded. A ground ball down the third base line into left field. That drove home Nico Bamba and Michael O'Brien to make it a 7-2 game. Little Rock now with Trey Hill on at third, Jerdy Lopez on at second. Just one out in the inning, and their leading hitter, Cade Smith, due up here. A pitching change for Chris Ramirez and the Screaming Eagles. New arm out there is the right-handed junior from Scottsburg, Indiana, Brady Watts, 5'11", 175, an OVC all-freshman team selection last year, getting his 18th appearance this season, an 0-1 record, a 6.19 ERA in 16 innings of work, 14 walks and 12 strikeouts for Watts. Infield is back in for Southern Indiana here, playing in front of the baseline, and Cade Smith takes a slow 71-mile-an-hour breaking pitch for strike one. Little Rock's starting center fielder Smith has now played all three outfield positions in this single game, and he is 1 for 4 so far tonight. 0-1, back to that breaking pitch, 72. That one ended up out of the zone, but Smith chases it, and a quick 0-2 count now. Cade Smith going to have to shorten up, trying to just put something in play here and drive home Trey Hill at third base with one out in the inning. Back to the breaking ball. This time Smith able to lay off of 73. It's 1-2. Cade Smith, who began his career as an Arkansas Razorback, redshirted in 24, went back home to Searcy, played for Division II Harding, where he hit 343, and back now at the Division I level here with Little Rock. And he waves and missed. He got him with that breaking pitch. 4 straight 70 or low 70s sliders from Brady Watts out of the bullpen. And that is a crucial second out for Southern Indiana to escape this 8th inning, or at least get that second out to try and strand these two runners. Here's Nolan Friend now for Little Rock. A single his last time, a walk tonight. He is 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored, and had, I guess, just a matchup decision there with Brady Watts. They like the sliders in that one plate appearance because Chris Ramirez is out to grab the ball from his right-hander. We're about to see another new arm for the Screaming Eagles. Trojan 7, Screaming Eagles 2 here in the home half of the 8th in Marion, Illinois. Back here inside Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. New arm out there for Southern Indiana. Little Rock up 7-2 with 2 crucial insurance runs here on a 2 RBI double from Jerdy Lopez in this home half of the 8th. Little Rock bringing up their 3-hole hitter Nolan Friend with Lopez at second and Trey Hill at third base, and 2 outs in this inning. And the new arm out there for Southern Indiana, right-handed junior from South Bend, Indiana, 6'5" right-hander Connor Quinn, getting his 8th appearance of the year, a 6.23 ERA and 4 1/3 innings. He's given up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Nolan Friend digging in for Little Rock. A chance to drive in a couple of runs here. Friend 1 for 3 with a single, a walk, and 2 runs scored in this game for the Trojans. First pitch, fastball 88 off the plate there from Connor Quinn. Trojans have Austin Coyle on deck in place of Blake Simpson after Coyle came on as a late defensive substitution with the good speed out there in the outfield. 1-0, hit sharply to short, but Clayton Slack is right there. He fires to first in time to get Nolan Friend. So Trojans set down, but Little Rock able to pick up 2 runs on 2 hits. They strand 2. They lead the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles 7-2, and they are 3 outs away from a date at 1 o'clock with the regular season champion Cougars. Back here inside Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. Little Rock 3 outs away. Brody Bunting's night is done. The North Little Rock High School graduate goes 8 innings in his first start, 118 pitches, and he gives up just 1 earned run, striking out 6 Screaming Eagles, and he's put Little Rock in pole position to finish things off. New arm out there for Little Rock. Right-handed grad student from Wheeler Heights, New South Wales, Australia, Josh Beasley with the ball. The third-year Trojan spent his first collegiate years at National Park College in Hot Springs. He was recruited by an Australian head coach, Rich Thompson, down there at that junior college, who is now a minor league coach in the Seattle Mariners organization. And he was originally recruited out of Australia as a hitter only. And they messed with the arm slot, got him out on the mound. He has developed into one of Little Rock's premier bullpen arms. This is his 26th appearance of the year, an ERA sub-4, and a 3-0 record in 34 2/3 innings. And he fires that sinker in there for a strike as he's ahead 0-1 here. 6, 7, and 8, a red-hot Parker Martin, left-handed hitting third baseman, digging in. He's 1 for 3 with a solo home run back in the 4th. Beasley gets a foul ball there, and he's ahead 0-2. He's not going to overwhelm you on the radar gun, Josh Beasley, but everything he throws has just such deceptive movement to it. He is a sidearm release, like a 3 o'clock, but he dips his shoulder down as if he's going to release from a submarine angle. And what that does is it creates movement on everything he throws. See what he goes to here, 0-2 against Parker Martin. That was a change up there off the plate. And Beasley requesting a new baseball. He's going to get one. Beasley with a sinking fastball, a dropping changeup, and then a frisbee-like slider that almost looks like it rises from his low release point. Parker Martin here, already a solo shot tonight. The 1-2, he rockets a foul ball towards the third base dugout. We'll do it again, same count. Beasley had some big postseason appearances last year. He went 2 innings, gave up just 1 earned run against the eventual national champion LSU Tigers out at Alex Box Stadium. And then he also threw a scoreless ninth against LSU back June the 2nd of last year. This is his first appearance in this year's version of the OVC championships. 1-2 slider. He started that one way off the plate, and it can't break back to the outside corner. It's 2-2. Martin, Noah Foster, and Drew Sines, the three Screaming Eagles here, due up in the frame. Trojans on top, 7-2, 3 outs away from staying alive. 2-2, foul down the left side. Trojans also 3 outs away from tying their all-time single-season win record of 33 that they set 26 years ago back in 2000. Got a slight shift here on the infield against the left-handed hitting Parker Martin. The shortstop, Jordy Lopez, is hugging the bag, and the second baseman, Cooper Chaplin, is out in shallow right field in the 3-4 hole. There's a big gap up the middle to the right side for Parker Martin, if he can find it. Josh Beasley, who works exclusively out of the stretch. Right-hander here coming set. And the 2-2. Off the hands, foul, and we'll do it again. We'll do it again here, 2-2. Parker Martin with his Screaming Eagles down 5 in the 9th inning. Desperately needing base runners now is USI. The 2-2 from Beasley popped high on the infield there, out into shallow left. Nolan Friend, the third baseman, making the call and making the catch in fair territory. 1 down in the 9th. Trojans 2 outs away from keeping their season alive and moving on to live another day. Noah Foster now digging in, right fielder, grad student for USI out of Tupelo, Mississippi. He is 1 for 3. He doubled in the second off of Brody Bunting. Beasley ready here as he comes set and delivers a first pitch slider off the plate, ball 1. 1-0 from Josh Beasley. That misses off the plate, a sinker that he pulled there, and it's 2-0 now to the right-handed hitting right fielder for USI. Trojans, it's such a difficult task to come out of this loser's bracket in the OVC tournament with the way the bracket is situated, but boy, Brody Bunting giving Little Rock 8 innings and giving them a real shot down the stretch this weekend. Trojans have only used 3 relief pitchers. That includes Josh Beasley. They've only used 3 relievers in their 4 games here in Marion, Illinois this week. Tag Andrews twice, Gage Haley once, and now Josh Beasley once. 2-1. Hit pretty well down towards the right field corner. Long run for Austin Coyle. He gets there on a hop. Wow, great speed and a good throw from Coyle out there. That looked like it was destined for extra bases there for Noah Foster. But Little Rock's Canadian right fielder able to hold Noah Foster to a single, and there's 1 on and 1 out in the 9th. Going to see a pinch hitter now for the Screaming Eagles, Jesse Velders, the grad student out of the Netherlands, first-year Screaming Eagle, getting a trip to the plate here. He is hitting for Drew Sines in the DH spot in the 9 hole for head coach Chris Ramirez and USI. Velders, a .306 hitter, 10 doubles, a homer, 25 RBIs on the year. And this is his first plate appearance here in these championships. He takes strike 1, a sinker right on the inside corner at the knees, and it's 0-1. Josh Beasley, one of the most experienced arms out of the bullpen for these Trojans, not just at the collegiate level, also had the opportunity to represent his country as well. He gets a slider and a wave and a miss. He's up ahead 0-2. Josh Beasley, he made 3 appearances for Australia's under-23 World Cup team out in Beijing, China in 2024. He's got an opportunity this season to represent the under 23 Aussies here again in that tournament. The 0-2 slider and great defensive play by Trey Hill there, keeping the runner Foster at a scoring position. Little Rock doing all the little things right here down the stretch in this contest. 2 outs away from getting a rematch with the Cougars of SIUE, the first time that SIUE have ever won a regular season title as a Division I club this season. 1-2 slider and another take there from Jesse Velders. Slight shift on the infield against the right-handed Velders. Friend at third's hugging the line. Dirty Lopez playing towards third a little bit extra, and Cooper Chaplin towards the middle of the field, ready to cover on a stolen base. Runner moves, 2-2, misses low. Throw from Trey Hill goes into center field, and runner stays at second there. It's a stolen base for Noah Foster. Gets himself into scoring position here with 1 out in the 9th. Southern Indiana now 2 of 3 on stolen base attempts here, and another pinch hitter. Zion Stevens' night is over, and now it's going to be Gavin Boyle for the Screaming Eagles. And they're serenading Josh Beasley here at Mountain Dew Park with the man down under. The man down under with the down under arm slot, Josh Beasley here ready out of the stretch. Boyle takes ball 1 off the plate. Big left-handed hitter here for USI, 6'2", left-handed bat, junior out of Gasport, New York, and he takes a sinking fastball at the knees there. Trojans 1 out away. On the ground to second, Cooper Chaplin has it. He goes over to first. Little Rock live to see another day. They move to 33-26 on the campaign. They tie their single season program record, 33 victories from 1990 and 2000, as Little Rock set their date and another matchup against the regular season champion Cougars at 1 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. What a performance by the local product, the Sherwood kid and North Little Rock High School graduate Brody Bunting. He was able to go 8 innings. He gave up just 1 earned run for the Trojans in his first start all season. 6 hits, 1 earned, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and 118-pitch victory for Bunting and Little Rock, who were defeated in a 1-run game against the Cougars last night, are going to get another opportunity at the regular season champs tomorrow. Be right back here as the Trojans win it 7-2. We'll put a bow on things here in a moment, give you all the numbers you need to know, tell you a little bit about the matchup tomorrow. Trojans 7, Screaming Eagles 2. You're listening to Little Rock Baseball on the Buzz and Trojan Networks. Back here inside Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. Little Rock have just finished things here with Southern Indiana. They win 7-2. Kyle Schwartz with the OVC bringing the poster board down to the first base side. Little Rock about to stamp the Trojan logo into the next round of the OVC tournament. They set their date at 1 o'clock with the regular season champion SIUE Cougars. Who else? Brody Bunting doing the job and putting the sticker on the poster board for the next round. Little Rock advanced. They are 3-1 now in these OVC championships as they try and repeat as tournament champs for the first time in program history. It's going to be a tall task. They have 3 more wins here, and Little Rock now one of the final 3 teams left. It is the 4-seed Trojans, the 2-seed Eastern Illinois Panthers and the winner's bracket, and the SIUE Cougars, who Little Rock will face tomorrow at 1 o'clock. You look back at the box score of the game yesterday, it was a close one, and Little Rock, they got out to the 3-0 lead against SIUE, but the bats went quiet in the latter stages of the game. SIUE were able to pick up a 4-3 victory, 2 triples by their 9-hole hitter, Gage Frank. That was the difference in yesterday's matchup. Looking ahead pitching-wise for Little Rock, and I mean, you can take your pick if you're Coach Curry. All 3 of the weekend guys have gone, and now Brody Bunting has started, but the Trojans have only been forced to use 3 bullpen arms in their first 4 games in this tournament. Tag Andrews has gone twice. Gage Haley has gone once, but he'll probably be fresh tomorrow. And 1 inning for Josh Beasley. He's been used a ton this year. He'll totally be fresh tomorrow as well. It's a dream scenario for Little Rock. Well, as dreamy as it can be here in this loser's bracket, but it should be a great matchup tomorrow against the regular season champions. Brody Bunting moves to 1-1. How about that? First victory all season long in his first start, as the man from Sherwood provides perhaps his best start in his Little Rock career, although he did have a terrific 2025 here with the Trojans. But again, dream outcome here tonight. Little Rock not having to go deep into their bullpen, saving their most important arms. And hey, living to see another day here are the Trojans. They matched their single season record, 33rd victory, and they live to play another day. That's all the college baseball we have for you from Mountain Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. Thanks for listening along here to a Trojans victory. We'll be back at 1 o'clock Central Time, waiting to hear with the Razorbacks and the Travelers. A lot of Central Arkansas sports going on, so not sure if we'll be on 103.7 The Buzz, 106.7 The Buzz, or back here on the stream. But regardless, appreciate everybody listening along as the Trojans win it 7-2, and they'll play another game. That's been Little Rock Trojans baseball on Trojans and Buzz Networks. Thanks for listening, everybody.